Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the zoo. The minions with me this evening are Tyr,
What up?
Adam,
Hello.
Traveling Exhibit, Angela,
Hello.
and of course, this is once again a Friday. I'm the keeper for this evening, Sanguine. How are all of you doing tonight?
Phenomenal, honestly.
That's good to hear.
They wiped my butt.
My butt's been wiped.
I'm just gonna leave that sit there.
Well, you can't because otherwise
You should at least throw it in the garbage can.
you don't want to get infections.
You. So,
You have
Adam,
to
will you get your
isolate
gutter
it
oil?
away from people.
What was that?
Adam was getting a healthy dose of his own gutter oil.
So, do you want to explain what gutter oil is to the fine people at home, Tyr? For those
most
who
definitely.
don't know?
Yes, so gutter oil is a Chinese delicacy where they open a manhole, they take a long-handled ladle or some sort of dipping apparatus, such as a pail,
Bucket on a rope.
yeah, and dip it underneath the sewer to get the sewage from the underneath the manhole and distill it into cooking oil.
Yeah, that doesn't make my stomach feel any better the second time hearing it than it did the first.
Oh,
Sorry.
there's also shill broth.
Oh, God.
Okay, what's that?
So shill broth is something that just came out into the news that it was happening in
Oh,
China.
no.
There's a dish known as hot pot. It is
Oh
absolutely delicious if it is done well, and there's a bunch of places that you can get hot pot in the States. The US and probably pretty much any other nation other than China, you won't really have to worry about this practice in. But
no! Good.
in China, it came out that they were recycling all of their broth. So,
Does that
and-
mean what I think it means?
most likely. So in the US, when you go to a hot pot place, they'll come out, they'll pour fresh broth. You'll use that. Anything that's left in the pot after you're done gets dumped out. Because it has been used. In China, they were apparently keeping the pots of broth and pouring them back in.
So basically, you were eating backwash.
You're eating
Yeah.
backwash of every single person that has eaten at that place for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Again. And people want our country to become like China.
No.
Fuck no.
Yeah, but did you
No.
see their drone display that they had recently?
Yeah, that's nice and all, but fuck that. I like eating.
Yeah, but it looks so spectacular.
No.
Oh, shit. Did y'all hear about the chick in China that died after 10 hours of eating?
No.
I did not. And by the
Did
way,
she eat for 10 hours straight?
your mic cut out at a very dangerous point for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because
Is this...
I know that you said chick,
Mm-hmm.
but the way that it cut out, it was...
Oh, yo.
So you didn't hear the ick part?
Didn't hear the ick from chick, so it kind of sounded like you said a very different word.
And in context, probably not the thing
Find
to
an
say.
armor. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. No, I don't. You know I don't mean. I'm not that racist. Not, at least not on the Minions.
Yeah,
I got
it was
some
just
decorum.
hilarious because it cut out at the perfect moment, and I knew that you had said chick, but it was just, oh.
The possibilities were
Okay.
not good.
Yeah, so the girl in question was a mukbanger, and she was fucking huge, and she ate for 10 hours straight
hours
on live
straight.
stream, and died. Like,
Oh, did
Yeah,
she
she
rupture her
turned
stomach?
around and sevened herself.
Whoa, okay,
Yeah.
they're coming for you.
she now that you mentioned Angela, yeah, she kind of did sever herself.
I did see, like, I think it was a news article about that. So was she live streaming it?
Yeah, she was live streaming it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I just assumed that she burst her stomach or something.
She
She
did.
was-
That's
she-
what happened in 7.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
think
she
they can
ate until her
also
stomach burst.
sell it as a double feature, a mukbang and or whatever the fuck they call it,
a
and a
snuff film.
Yeah.
A mukbang and a snuff film. Wow. Mr.
I
Adam,
don't
you
think
are a
that's a
treasure.
crossover they expected.
Yeah, nobody thought that
Rotten
one lady
Corpse.
did.
Wait, everybody, look at Rotten Corpse chat. I guess you could say she didn't have the stomach for it.
Oh, you are
You would
truly
have to call it a muck
horrible
snuff,
people. A muck stuff.
because a snuff bang sounds entirely different.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
man.
are you serious,
It's-
cannibalistic wizard?
Muck snuff 2, a new batch
She
of
was
heroes.
dead for a while before they came and turned her. Yeah, she was gone. Like they said, yeah.
Muck stuff
Yeah.
3, a
Oh
fistful of
my
nugs.
gosh.
That's kind of like there's one.
I just...
So everyone knows that you can eat yourself to death.
Yeah.
Well, obviously we have it on film.
You can eat yourself to death by causing your stomach to rupture. You immediately, effectively trigger septic shock, and you're gone very shortly.
Dude,
after.
this is like we have film footage of some what is it called? Spontaneous combustion.
Yep.
You know? It's like, nah, you can't really eat yourself to death. Well, no.
That's a fucking lie.
This
Yeah,
lady
you-
just proved you wrong.
You can absolutely eat yourself to death. You can rupture your stomach.
Yeah.
And there's also one of the most fucked up things that most people don't know about when it comes to deaths related to eating is everyone, of course, knows that you can starve yourself to death. Have any of you ever heard of refeeding syndrome?
Is it like regurgitating something?
No. So refeeding syndrome is something that
I can't
was
remember what
discovered-
it is.
at several points throughout history, but one of the most horrific times was the first of the camps that were liberated after World War II.
Wait, was
A
this the
mis-
one where everybody died because they were given food and
Yes.
yeah, their bodies just weren't used to processing food or water, so the soldiers were accidentally killing them
Yeah,
by
what
giving
happens
them food and water.
is the body has gotten used to not processing anything to the point where when you start being given food again, it can, rather than your body processing it normally, it builds up toxic levels of everything
Yeah,
and pours that into your system. So when someone has been starved for an extended period of time, or when they've been starving themselves, you actually have to very, very, very slowly.
reintroduce food.
Yep.
Oh. So
But yeah, a lot of the people who died in the camps of non-determinate, actually were alive at liberation
Yep.
and died while being liberated by soldiers who thought they were being kind.
Yeah, there was the first few camps, a fair number of them ended up dying due to refeeding syndrome. And then word was put out through the military very quickly. It sounds like a dick move. Don't just give them food. Don't just give them water. They're allowed to eat this much the first day, this much the second day, and they had like a 40-day plan or something like that they put out through the military of this is how much food these people are allowed all the way up to the 40th day. After that, give them as much as you fucking want. Because yeah, refeeding syndrome, it's fucked up.
I did not know that was what it was called, but I do know about it.
Yep. Yeah, you have to very slowly reintroduce food, reintroduce drink until their body is able to handle larger quantities. And it is literally like a 40, 50-day process now in most hospitals. If someone is found to be, or found to have been starved, they will have it extremely slow where they reintroduce food, they reintroduce water so that the person doesn't die. Because the body just shuts down. It starts pouring toxic levels of every product into their system. Because the stomach is stupid. It doesn't realize that the rest of the body has down regulated everything that's important in the process of breaking down shit. So the stomach just goes, hey, shit's here, and breaks it down. It's a fucked up thing. But
It really is. Like,
it's kind of like one of the other worst ways of dying is water intoxication / hyperhidrosis.
Yeah, that's pretty nasty too.
Also known as water poisoning.
Ooh.
yeah, you can drown without drowning.
No, that's
This is
the diver reflex that you're thinking of. So, hyperhidrosis is you drink way too much water way too quickly. So it starts to first leach all the salts from your body.
Diffusion. Not diffusion.
Osmosis.
desalination.
There it
Yes.
is.
It is diffusion, but specifically it's osmosis, which is a sort of diffusion. But it will start leaching out all the salt while also adding water to every cell in your body until the cells start to burst. But the way that most people end up dying when it comes to hyperhidrosis is it starts to cause the brain to increase in size because all the cells are increasing in size until it eventually extrudes the lower portion of the brain through the foramen magnum.
Yep.
So it forces chunks of the brainstem that aren't supposed to leave through the foramen, crushing them. And the foramen magnum is the hole in the base of your skull. And most of your autonomic nervous system is controlled by your brainstem.
You know what, Sanguine? Our bodies are such amazing and complex machines. Like the way you just described is something so complex that like our body we could die by eating food if we don't eat food, essentially.
Yeah, if you don't eat food for long enough, you can die because you suddenly start eating food again.
Or if you go too long without food, you can die from not eating food.
Yep.
You can die from not drinking water, but you can also die from drinking too much water. You can also die from going without water for so long, and then you get water, and you can die from that. Like, our bodies are so fucking complex a machine.
Oh yeah, it is rather worrying. And the strange thing is that the human body is at once insanely resilient and insanely fragile. Because, well, that type of stuff, which is, everyone understands that you can not eat and starve to death. That doesn't confuse anyone. Everyone understands that you can go through extreme dehydration and die. That doesn't confuse anyone.
Yeah, you could have an annual straight out of nowhere. I'm just reading Rotten's comment.
But then you also have shit like, you'll see someone with a sucking chest wound, which, do you guys know why it's called a sucking chest wound?
Mm-mm.
Your body's trying to breathe from the wrong hole.
Yep, so So sucking chest wounds are holes that lead to your lung.
Ooh.
And as your diaphragm is still trying to do what a diaphragm does, it will suck fluid into the lung. By fluid, I of course mean blood. So there's actually, if it's bad enough, you can kind of hear a kind of weak sucking noise from it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's bad enough, you can hear slurping. It's really gross.
Yeah, if it's really bad, you can hear slurping.
And you know, for the last half of the show, we're gonna have some Sanguine doing some ASMR of just exactly how that's gonna sound. Straight to your earlobe.
Stick
So
around.
start
You don't want to
off
watch
with-
with that.
Death ASMR and with food ASMR, is that what you're saying?
Do you really want to do them both back to back? I mean, that's kind of a weird look, you know? All of a sudden there's protruding, slurping, blood getting
Oh,
sucked
I'm
back
not
into
saying
the organ
eating
sound.
food.
And then we slice it on the grill and get to Flavor City, or Flavor Town, whatever the fuck it's called. And
Hearts are delicious.
Okay.
make sure we just
You have to
sear
cook a
each
heart
side
right,
a
but
little
heart
bit.
is delicious. Yeah, with heart, if anyone is ever cooking heart, do not overcook that. It is constantly working. It overcooks like a son of a bitch, becomes shoe leather. If you're cooking heart, you just kiss it on the fire.
Well, yeah, you definitely don't
Yeah,
want
no, you
to let
overcook
your
it
heart
and
be
you
hardened.
can literally bounce it off the floor.
Oh yeah, it just
Wait, are you
locks up
wait?
like stone.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heart's delicious.
I don't eat heart, but I have cooked it. My mom is big on
I have a.
on like it's true of all animals, and my mom likes chicken hearts.
Yeah, chicken
So-
hearts are good if
Ugh.
they're cooked right. Beef hearts, amazing. Pork hearts, very good.
Okay, that's one of those things where as long as it doesn't smell like liver, you have to turn around and not tell me what it is before you
Oh yeah,
fed it to me.
I love all the awful though. So
I don't like liver. It's like eating pennies.
Like copper?
yeah, it's very metallic.
Oh.
The liver filters your blood.
Yeah, and it has the highest iron content.
I can't stand liver. Like, liver is one of those meats I cannot eat.
It's again something that you have to cook correctly.
It probably is, because last time I had liver, it was fucking shoe leather.
Oh yeah,
Oh, my
And-
mom makes liver that has this wonderful texture. It just tastes like pennies, so I can't eat it.
if you overcook liver, if you overcook most of the hard-working organs in the body, they lock up. There's effectively, so everyone knows how to cook a steak, or at least everyone should know how to cook a steak. Steak is easy to cook. You know how as you cook it more, it locks up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's because steak is low in connective tissue, but it is just a hunk of muscle. So the steaks that are from areas that get the least amount of work are the most tender,
Okay.
which is why the filet mignon from the tenderloin
Mm-hmm.
is extremely tender. The tenderloin is called the tenderloin because it isn't flexed much. But the more a muscle's worked and the more connective tissue is in it, the beefier the taste gets from the more it's worked. The more it's
Okay.
worked, beefier. So that's where you've had a really good tri-tip, right?
Yes.
Ah, yes.
Tri-tip is a muscle that's constantly working. So it gets really beefy. But it has a shit ton of connective tissue. When you get connective tissue, what you need to do is you need to low and slow it so that you get the connective tissue to gelatinize. Which
Whoa.
is why when you smoke a brisket, if you try to cook a brisket like a steak, it's going to be tough as shit. Doesn't matter if you do it blue or well done, it's going to be tough as shit. When you low and slow it, when you smoke it, when you roast it for an extended period of time, it ends up gelatinizing all the connective tissue, which is normally mostly indigestible. Gelatinizing it makes it so it's digestible and makes it go tender, which is why when you low and slow a brisket, it just falls apart. There's one exception to the more muscle works, the beefier it gets, and the more muscle works, the more tender it gets. And that is the hanger steak. I say the hanger steak not because it is just the name of the type of cut. I say the hanger steak because there's only one hanger steak in any cow. Do you know where the hanger steak is?
No.
Directly between the lungs.
Oh.
So it was, at one point, the butcher's treat. Because most butchers didn't sell it, they just took it home and cooked it.
Hey, I mean, it's good. So.
Oh yeah, making a brisket is a bit of an art form because you want to have it low and slow. You want to make sure that it stays juicy. But the real bit about the art form of cooking brisket is making sure that you don't trim too much.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you trim too much, then it goes dry. If you don't trim enough, it becomes really fucking greasy. So learning to trim it right is where that art form of cooking brisket really comes in.
Okay. I like brisket. Brisket is good.
Oh yeah, brisket's
yeah.
delicious.
Of course, I also have to say that or I lose my Jewish card.
I still love... Do you know how corned beef became the St. Patty's Day meal in the U.S.?
No. How?
Wait, does
The
that have a story?
Jews. Yeah, it's because of the Jews.
The Jews! There you go. Awesome.
Oh yeah, it is because of the Jews. So the actual extended story of it is when the Irish were coming to the United States, a shit ton of them, of course, settled in New York, right?
Uh-huh.
Everyone knows the Irish sections of New York. They also eventually moved to Boston, and that's why Boston to this day is an extremely Irish-American town. I fucking hate the hyphen, but it's somewhat due in Boston.
In the case of Boston.
Yeah, because those motherfuckers were funding the IRA well into the 90s, if not still to this day. But you have the Irish immigrants coming to the U.S. They ended up settling in the kind of ghetto sections of the city
Okay.
as new immigrants. Do you know what other major ethnic group was constantly in the ghettos of New York?
The Irish? The Jewish.
The Jews. Yeah, the Irish were there. The Jews were also there.
What are you-
So, in Ireland, a fairly standard St. Paddy's Day dinner would be like a roast leg of lamb, a nice bit of mutton. It would be sheep-based. But in the U.S.,
Juicy, cheap.
say again?
Juicy, cheap.
Yep, it's delicious. It's juicy. It is absolutely fucking delicious. But in the US, lamb wasn't really a thing. And mutton to this day is something that most people know of mutton through fantasy or historical works rather than actually having had mutton. So they came to the US. St. Patty's Day was coming close. They didn't know what the fuck to have. And they went, okay, what's something that we could kind of do like mutton but isn't mutton? And a bunch of Irish people had Jewish holiday meals and Jewish meals in general. And what's a fairly standard centerpiece for a Jewish holiday, and Jewish delis especially?
Brisket or corned beef.
Yeah, they do briskets. And briskets are fucking delicious.
They are.
And the Irish went, well, we can fucking do this with our flavors. And they made corned beef. And corned beef is fucking delicious. And ever since then, it spread from New York to the rest of the nation. And it became the American St. Patty's Day meal.
Oh.
And it's all because of the Jews.
You're welcome.
Yep.
God damn it.
What can I say except you're welcome?
I was just playing, Angel.
It's one of those things that is something everyone is familiar with, but not many people know the backstory of, which makes it fun.
And
Yeah,
that's why you are the lore master.
That was one I didn't know. Thank you.
Yeah. And that is where the tradition of corned beef on St. Paddy's came from. Because in Ireland, corned beef, not really a thing.
Okay.
They don't do corned beef for St. Paddy's Day. Like I said, to this day, it is still effectively, yeah, you do lamb or mutton. And that's your St. Paddy's Day.
Dude, it's too soon for St. Patty's Day.
It's never too soon for
Well,
St.
it's
Patty's Day.
too late
It
for
is-
St. Paddy's Day.
Well, unless you're talking about next St. Patty's Day, in which case it is too soon. But you don't have to have, it doesn't have to be St. Patty's Day. Hey, we've got several Jewish holidays coming up. You can just make a brisket.
Yep.
Or I can just, bug my Jew and have him make me some brisket when he does.
You aren't allowed to keep them in your basement anymore.
I was gonna say, you have your very own Jew.
I have a coworker, I call him my Jew. Because
See, I was really expecting an accountant or a lawyer, and then I remembered, wait, no, tier.
Oh.
I'm an honorary member of the tribe because I literally hang out with them more often, like every Thursday, sorry. So I'm an honorary member of the tribe, and I call them my Jews. And I say that to their face. You guys are my Jews.
See, the problem is, there's also the black Hebrew Israelites that tried to claim that shit.
Oh fuck! That's right.
No,
I love
that
doing
is
that.
very, very wrong, actually. I went to the bus stop one day, I don't know why they decided this day to turn around and post up at the the bus stop near the trolley station in Imperial Beach. But
Okay.
I watched them turn around and go off on this poor dude for half an hour because we were waiting for a bus. Because
There
he
are
was
a plague
wearing
on
a
everyone's
hat.
houses.
Because he was
yeah.
wearing a hat.
Yep.
Angela, they are a plague on everyone's house.
Which just if you want to offend a Jew, tell them that a man should be not wearing a hat in God's presence.
Also, I find it absolutely hilarious and strange how many people go, you know what, Praetor John, real and ours?
I'm sorry, what? Say that again?
Yeah,
I
what was
find
it?
it hilarious, the number of people that look at history and they go, Praetor John, real and ours. Because Praetor John was, according to Catholics, a leader of a lost tribe of Israel that then became Christian in Africa. There's
Okay.
Jews that believe that Praetor John was the leader of a lost tribe of Israel that stayed Jewish and was in Africa. The Black Hebrew Israelites believe that Praetor John was a leader of a lost tribe of Israel and is the only true tribe of Israel and
Isn't
they're the
that lost?
descendants of in Africa.
Well, it's
Is
better
it?
than the Mormons who decided that oh,
At least the
there's a
Mormons have the
13th
hilarity
there's
of
a
the white and
13th
delightsome.
there's a 13th tribe of Israel who came to the United States, and that's where the Native Americans came from.
Have you ever seen the Mormon cartoon where they explain Mormonism, Angela? It is peak hilarity.
It is a Mormon cartoon.
Yes, they explain that like so there was a rebellion in heaven and like how was it Paul Joseph Smith? I can't remember the name of their
Joseph Smith. Just Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith. I'm not sure where you got Paul Joseph
I don't
Smith
remember.
from.
Could be wrong.
Are you
So
combining
They always got to
the
have three
Paul
names.
brothers and Joseph Smith into one entity?
possibly. But my point was going to be that so that when the angels rebelled, like the angels that decided to side with Lucifer, they were all cursed and they became the black people, and all the loyal angels became the white people, and all the angels that was on the sidelines became, the non-white races that
Well,
aren't
that's
black people.
not true
Well, that
either way.
in the
If that cartoon said that, then I don't know.
I'm talking about Mormon. That is they.
I don't know what the
Mormonism.
Mormons. I'm saying I don't know why Mormons would do that, because they say pretty much the same things that the Jews and the Christians said, which was that black people are, specific like offshoot of Christians. I need to say that black people are the descendants of Ishmael.
Oh yeah.
so
That is probably what it is.
there's so
Um,
when it comes to the Mormons,
Jacob.
they have a rather strange. If you go to the older version of the religion, it's been changed up since then. But in the old version, you had the white and delightsome, which they were of. So I'm trying to think which point I should start this conversation, because it is a very fucking strange religion when you go into the deep lore of it.
I actually did Mormonism for a little while.
Okay, so then the rebirth of Jesus in the New World.
Yes.
During that, they talk about the white and delightsome, and how I remember the two groups' names. I always forget which one was the blacks, which one were the whites. But you had, or the blacks and natives, and which one were the whites. But you had the neophytes, and you had I had the other name until I started to say it. It was
Tell the story.
Yes.
They don't share this with new recruits anymore.
Yeah. This is old lore, like I said. They've since gone away from this because in the modern age, saying that, yes, white and delightsome, and if you believe hard enough, you can become white. doesn't really fly by most people,
Yep.
but the cartoon that he was referring to is from a traditionalist sect of the Mormons that still go by the old school white and delightsome. And they, in that original telling, it was that the pure souls were the white. It wasn't the angels. It was the pure souls, which technically in the Mormon lore, the angels were at least some of the souls that ended up spawning on Earth in order to found Earth. But there's then also new souls from. It's a very confusing religion when you start looking at old lore versus new lore. Kind of like how there's also
It's a very confusing religion when you look at it now.
Yeah, it's kind of like how there's religions that get confusing only when you look at new lore versus old lore. It's a confusing religion in general. Judaism is a confusing religion when you look at old lore versus new lore, like when you notice that in the oldest books going to the newest books, you can see the progression into monotheism. Because it goes from very oldest, it has indications of polytheism, to the middle, it goes to I want to say it's henotheism. Let me quickly double check that I'm remembering the term right. It's either henotheism or monotheism, but I think it's henotheism. Yes, it's henotheism. It goes into henotheism, and that's where it is during the story of, like, Moses, for instance. Because during the story of Moses, they still erect a Nepheshtan, which is not a holy symbol of the primary god, but was a holy symbol of one of the associated gods. As well as there's still mention of...
You mean the snake on the rod?
Yes.
Yeah. That was actually... Okay. Never mind, because you're not actually looking to go into that, I don't think.
Well, it's...
Well, I was going to say, God told him to raise that because the snakes were invading the camp.
So the story as it is laid out currently, and the way that it is explained when you look at it from the religious perspective, both in Christianity as well as in Judaism, is that it was something that was directed by God, therefore it was a symbol of God and it was imbued with God's power. There's the kind of cultural anthropological way of looking at it, which is this was a symbol that was popular at the time in the surrounding area. There's other mentions of these sorts of iconography in the religious text. So you see the hard move to monotheism during the, renovation of the temple period, when the idols of...
I was going to say which renovation. Are you talking like the story of Hanukkah, or are you talking...
Let me quickly double check that I'm remembering the right goddess, because there's a goddess that her symbols were kept in the temple for a period of time, and then there was a renovation of the temple where they removed Nepheshtans, as well as, it's not Ashura, it's something like Ashura, though, and I'm trying to remember the name of the goddess. It is. It's not Arcee. Oh, the reason why I'm thinking that it was Ashura is it's Ashura, but spelled a different way from the Ashura that I was thinking of. So it was Ashura, if you want to try to pronounce it in a distinctive way. So you had the Ashura poles, which were originally kept within the temple, but then during, let me remember, or see if I can find the point at which they were removed from the temple. I know that it's in one of the fairly early, but not ridiculously early. It was the second book of Chronicles. So it was the renovation of the temple by was it Jeremiah? Sorry, this is all trying to remember from
Memory.
going back ages ago. But it was either Jeremiah or... No, it was Gideon. Gideon was the one who cut down the Asherah poles. And during that point, the Asherah poles were removed from the temple, which is why it's one of the renovations of the temple, where Asherah poles, the Nepheshtan, and several other bits of iconography were removed from the temple. And if you're going by the anthropological assessment, that is the progression from a henotheistic to a purely monotheistic religion.
Okay.
Takes place. And then you have
Jeremiah with the bullfrog.
you have the confusion of religions that are currently existing religions, where not only is the old lore kind of strange, because that was ironed out fairly early in Judaism, and in Christianity as well, because Christianity being a progenitor religion, or not progenitor, being a descendant religion from Judaism, kept that same progression. You then have the religions that pop up much later and just add in weird shit like Kolob. That's a strange thing to add into the religion. But
Kolob the Destroyer.
Okay.
Kolob is the name of a planet.
Oh.
Oh, what?
A planet.
Ah.
So, there's several different versions of Christian religions that decided God's an alien.
Oh boy.
Oh, lordy.
And one of them has God originating from a planet named, I want to say it's Kolob.
I didn't get into that when they started.
Isn't that the basis of Scientology?
I believe that is actually back to Mormonism and their everyone is going to have their own planet, and that is the planet that God and Jesus resided on.
Yeah, I think it's that. I think that's the one that Kolob was from. But there's several different sects of that, and some of them change the name of the fucker. So it becomes really confusing when you're looking at all the different sects and you're going, okay, which one is this one again? I have fun with mythology and looking into belief systems. But, oh good God, some of them are a mess.
Indeed.
I don't believe in organized religion, but I am Christian. That's as organized as my my religion gets.
I'm a practicing heathen.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, what?
I'm a practicing
heathen.
Yes.
I am A agnostic atheist would be the most accurate description.
I'm a deist by nature. I do
Deist?
believe in something. A deist, yes. Deist. Saying tomato.
Except not at all the same words.
A deist and a deist are technically the same thing. You can be a deity or a deity. It is the same word.
Just one's pronouncing it wrong. I'll let everyone decide at home which one.
Go to hell!
Thank you.
But yeah,
God damn.
there's.
Heathens.
I'm an agnostic atheist, like I said, so I don't believe there's a God, but I'm also going, yeah, I can't say for sure that there isn't. I will say that I can look at certain religions and I go, that sounds like horse shit, that's not a thing. But
That's not how you do those things with that thing and that thing there.
yeah, if you're saying that in order for your religion to be right, this has to be the proper depiction of your God, your religion isn't right. That's just how this shit works. That is internally inconsistent. That doesn't work as lore.
I have the worldview of, I think we all have a piece of the puzzle. It's just that we're so arrogant we can't figure out how it all fits together.
That's kind of like there's a short story that I remember reading from a religious author. I can't remember the author's name, but the premise of the short story was that, yeah, all religions kind of started from the same place, but then you could call them demons of the actual narrative, started changing things as they went. So all of the inconsistencies, all of the confusion is the result of different beings playing with the religious belief and tweaking it over time.
Okay.
Which, that's an interesting thought process. It's also something that has been done in fantasy series. Like there's the one of the authors that I've recommended many times is Brandon Sanderson.
Yes.
And in one of his series, there's a being that their whole thing is corruption. And they're very good at it. To the point where pretty much anything recorded is automatically sus.
Wow.
This has been a roller coaster of a conversation. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Oh yeah.
That tends to happen when Sanguine and I get together.
This is why I like having it just be whatever the hell we decide to talk about. We jump in because it makes it more interesting to me.
Makes sense.
I don't know, but
Are you okay?
And,
have we hurt your brain?
and Assassin, they don't claim to be the only descendant of Abraham. They look at it as they are descendants of Ishmael, but they view the usurpation of birthright as a major dividing point where the Jewish tradition goes wrong.
Ah.
Yeah, that's the in-lore, shall we say, reason for the animosity.
no, I was just gonna say all this talk. I'm right now looking at Uber Eats and seeing what I'm gonna order. You got me hungry.
Have you decided what you're going for?
No, probably Taco Bell. I don't know.
tends to be the more
Oh,
affordable
sorry, I
option, even at the
had my
really
skip
ridiculous rates.
and saw only source is Muhammad. That isn't their only source. They maintain certain portions of the oldest books,
Oh,
but they have different reads of those oldest books. So, for instance, one of the biggest deviations is the descendants of Ishmael rather than the descendants of. I always want to confuse the two names. It was
Jacob.
Jacob. Okay, I was
Because that was what I was referring to earlier, which is Christian, certain sects of Christianity and Mormonism being one of said sects, and actually Israel, freaking Jewish people. They both say that black people, or all three of them say that black people are descended from Ishmael, while the Jews are descended from Jacob.
Oh, and
Okay.
I remembered why I always blank on the name, because both of the names that I was thinking were the correct name. Jacob and Israel.
Jacob is Israel.
Yeah.
Finkel
That's-
Einhorn.
Einhorn. It's
I was
Finkel.
originally going, I always get these two names mixed up. Oh yeah, because they're the same fucker. That's why I always get them
Yes.
mixed up. It's not really mixed up. It's just.
But the lasers were out.
Because of Israel? What?
I don't know. Wait, what are we talking about?
We're talking about Jacob and Ishmael, and Jacob ended up later being known to God as Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Call me Ishmael.
Ishmael was his brother.
Yeah.
I was making a
By-
reference of Herman
he
Melville's.
His
movie game.
Yeah, I know.
extremely hirsute brother as well.
His
That was
extremely hirsute brother from another mother, quite literally.
Yeah, and the description of Ishmael always comes across as, you didn't have to do him that hard. Come on.
Yeah,
Because it's always like he was extremely hairy and very dark. What the fuck?
Man, God made the first beast man. God damn.
He was born to be the servant of his brother. God damn! Let up on the poor boy.
Now I see how the fuck he flipped out.
Well, technically, Abraham was supposed to only have children with Sarah.
Yep.
And Sarah decided to turn around and tell him to sleep with her handmaid because she wasn't having kids. And that's where Ishmael came from.
Wait a minute. If I remember the correctness of the story, one of them his father Abraham was dying, and he was going blind, and he went in wearing like a fursuit.
Yeah,
And
Jacob
stole
tricked.
it. Yeah,
Jacob did, yes.
stole his brother's birthright.
Yep.
Well, technically, he was only making his brother make good on his sale.
Yeah.
Because he sold his birthright for a bowl of soup because he was too lazy to get his own.
Fucking hell. Really?
Yes, really.
Also, my favorite story about Jacob was the one time God had to cheat in wrestling.
What?
Yep.
Which, there's a more modern interpretation of it. I say more modern. It's an interpretation going back a few hundred years, which is that it was an angel and not God, though in the oldest versions of the text, if I remember correctly, it was using a term that wasn't really used for angels, but was used for God. And Jacob wrestled with this being. That being then gimped his leg using their powers, because they were being overwhelmed physically. So it's that time that some divine being cheated in wrestling.
So let me get this straight. Hold on. Let me get this straight. Gods have decided to wrestle some dude. Some dude's winning. God goes, yeah, you're now a cripple.
I forget why they were wrestling. There was some reason why they were wrestling.
I don't want to sound mean or insulting to your religion, Angela, but God sounds like a fucking dick.
Yeah, it was during the... I'm trying to remember exactly when it happened. I want to say it was... He was told to go to fight a battle, and he started having second thoughts. He prayed several times, asking for a sign. Then he didn't feel like he had received a sign, so he went to leave the field. As they were in retreat from that field, a being stopped him in his way. He then wrestled. He started to win. That being gimped his leg. He went back, fought the battle, won the battle. If I remember correctly, that's the gist of it.
Yeah,
So,
God will fuck you up if you don't do what he tells you to do. Did you not learn anything from the story of Jonah?
well, see, the problem is,
Do you want to go live in a fish for a while?
Fuck no. But the problem is, I grew up with a loving God. Like, by the time my God rolled around, he was all happy and cool and shit. Maybe having that kid mellowed his ass out. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, Old Testament God's a dick.
Old Testament God got tired of his people deciding to do things that ended up with them in slavery and stuff like that.
Maybe God should have given him guns.
Well, one of my other favorite parts of the Bible is one that always gets people that are fairly religious annoyed at me, because it is hilarious in context and when you know enough about other mythologies as well. It's the God was with them, but they could not win, for their enemies had chariots of iron. And the part that's amusing, if you know other mythologies, is a fairly common trend in a lot of mythologies is both magical and divine. A lot of mythologies don't really have a strong distinction between those two, are often nullified by the presence of iron. Yeah,
so God's a fae. So I could trap God in a ring of salt.
Well, salt hasn't been shown to have any effect, which is why I'm saying that more accurately it's the magic from a bunch of different traditions is nullified by iron.
I was gonna say you're confusing your witches with your fae here.
Well, the fae are also susceptible to iron, which is...
Well, yeah, no, I'm talking about the circle of salt.
Yep.
In some myths, you can trap fae in circles of salt. You can
Fae trap themselves to keep people out in any type of natural ring, actually.
Go.
So.
Yes, iron buckshot mixed with some silver buck tends to be the way to go if you're talking about otherworldly.
They tend
Do you want
to
defeat the fae?
By the way.
Second?
You want us to defeat the fae? Use iron.
I said they tend to choose toadstools, so avoid toadstool rings.
The fairy courts. There's
all right, Sam, I got a question for you.
Yep.
Sealy or unsealy? Which one are you?
I prefer the winter.
Oh, fucking hell. So,
Summer
of course,
are
you'll be
interesting.
unseelie.
The summer are interesting, but the winter are far more interesting.
I
Sealy
was
all the
gonna
way.
say
Yep.
actually unsealy, dude.
Sealy all the way. Summer is far better than winter.
You don't get the Kusith.
I don't want the Kusith.
The Kusith are amazing.
The hell's
They're
a Kusith?
terrifying, but they're amazing. So,
The
in
Kate
demi-fae
Sith.
tend to be with the unseelie as well.
yes, so in the lore of the Fae.
Oh,
and
wait.
I have to
Wait.
specify-
Hold on.
He's trying
Hold
to
on.
figure out how we went from Christianity to fae.
Okay, hold on. Are we stepping into a lore of a game or novel that I
No,
may
it's
not...
actual Gaelic myth and whatnot. Here,
It's in the more modern interpretation of the ancient Goidelic and Brythonic faiths. So, I say the more modern interpretation because there was an older interpretation that then was replaced sometime in like the 1100s. So, by more modern, I'm still talking like 11 to 1200s. But you had the Fae, which in the Goidelic tradition were the progeny of the old Goidelic gods. The Irish called them Tuatha De Danann. The Scots had a slightly different name, but they had functionally the same gods, only slightly different. It's kind of like a Rome and Greece thing going on where the names are different, but their characterizations are very similar, but not
the function
quite
pretty much the damn
identical.
same.
Yeah, only not quite identical because, like, for instance, you have the Manx from the island of Man that had a slightly different order of the importance of Manan and Maclear, which was the god that the Manx view as their patron. So it ends up with slightly different stories when it comes down to that. But with the general idea is the Tuatha De Danann became the gods below after they were forced off the surface, at least. Okay. Even more confusing, this is a version of the story told by Irish Catholic monks after the faith had mostly been eradicated by the Catholics, but it was still being recorded by the Irish Catholic monks, but they were including elements of their own religion in order to make the Irish traditional religion more Catholic. So they, for instance, made it so that the Tuatha De Danann were technically descendants of Moses, but then also the wave that took over from the Tuatha De Danann, which were the Mercians. The Mercians were also descendant of another tribe that was descendant from Moses, but the Mercians were able to take over from the Tuatha De Danann in a massive fuck-off war. The Mercians then made peace with the Tuatha De Danann with the one stipulation that the Tuatha De Danann weren't allowed to walk among men anymore, so the Tuatha De Danann became the gods below. After they became the gods below, there was the Feast of Govnu, which was orchestrated by Manan and Maclear, where Manan and Maclear was able to spread his cloak of mist over all the assembled Tuatha De Danann, and Govnu then fed them and gave them drink, which made them immortal. But then they started carving out their own homes under the earth, becoming the gods below. They were in the mounds, and while they were in the mounds, they ended up assembling their own, effectively, realm of existence known as Tir na Nog. Tir na Nog was then populated by the Tuatha De Danann with beings of their own making, which then became the early Fae. The early Fae then grew in power and spread out through Tir na Nog as the Tuatha De Danann made additional planes, but then some of the Fae were also able to make their own planes. But skipping ahead to 11 or 1200, you have a reconceptualization of the Fae. They still, to a certain extent, keep their ancestry with the Tuatha De Danann, but it's not as clear of an ancestry to the Tuatha De Danann. They become more alien. They separate into two courts. You have the winter and the summer. Neither's good, neither's evil, but they're both strange, alien, and kind of fucked. Don't make a deal with the Fae.
Never. It doesn't matter which court.
Yeah, the Fae.
Well, you can lure your way out of it into a deal with the Fae, and actually, there are myths where people have lured their way and gotten over on the Fae. Now they've gotten fucked over because you don't piss off a Fae, but they got what they wanted.
Yeah, and it takes exceptional, near godly abilities in order to be able to fuck over the Fae. So, for instance, one of the methods of fucking over the Fae was a bard, and I'm trying to remember the bard's name, but he was able to entertain a court of the Fae so soundly that they were effectively enthralled by his music for something like 2 months straight. And thus was able to gain a semblance of authority when it came to making his deal with the Fae. But most of the time you end up on the losing end. But also there's Fae that end up doing interest. Are either of you familiar with what the Lianshi is?
Yes, I know what a Lianshi is.
So the Lianshi is one of my favorite. Oh, God.
I might, but I would have to see it written.
So the Lianshi is effectively bardic inspiration succubus vampire.
I know. Yeah, I knew what it was.
And what they are is they're so insanely beautiful that even just the sight will make you compose a work of poetry or song that is more beautiful than any other work not so inspired. That if you're able to attract the Lianshi will wed you, bed you, make you very happy for an extended period of time as you become the foremost bard of an age before
leave you.
The Lianshi gets bored of you and leaves. You die of heartbreak. The Lianshi then comes back, collects your body, takes your body back to her cave, and bleeds you into her pool, where she then bathes and reabsorbs all the brilliance of your poetry.
Holy shit!
So
are you saying Yoko Ono?
Powerful.
So essentially, a Lianshi is she is Lady Luck. When you have her with you, you're on top of the world. But keeping her, that's the prize. You know,
because when
she goes, you're fucked. In more ways from Sunday.
It sounds more like one of those crossroads moment where, deal with the devil, and then all of a sudden, although in the crossroads, you don't have to fuck the devil.
Well, fucking the devil in this sense is an added bonus.
Yes.
Because she's hot. So.
I mean, unless you're into that,
I mean, fucking the hot devil. But.
Whoa! Hey, what was that? What was that movie with Brendan Fraser and
Bedazzled?
How did that movie come right to your? Yeah, but
because that's like the only. Brendan Fraser had exactly 6 movies worth shit. Encino Man, Bedazzled, the Mummy series. I'm count them all as fucking one movie because it's just easier for fucking math's sake. The Whale, which just came out recently, and Blast from the Past.
I was going to
Okay.
be so pissed
Last
off
one
if you
fast
said
is pretty
Monkey
good.
Bone in any of those.
Fuck that! I'm not mentioning that one.
He was in Monkey Bone?
Yeah, he
Yes.
was the lead in Monkey Bone.
Neither of two of my 5 favorite Brendan Fraser movies did you mention.
Again, he only has like 6 that are worth mentioning. That gives worth mentioning.
School Ties was fantastic.
It wasn't worth mentioning, Angela.
It was absolutely worth mentioning. And With Honors is literally the best film that Brendan Fraser ever made.
Again, only worth mentioning Encino Man. Oh, I take it back. 7. There are 7 movies. You know why? Because I totally fucking forgot George of the Jungle. I love that movie.
I just
That movie was
George of the
fucking-
Jungle was
sometimes.
pretty quality.
That was pretty good. That movie was awesome.
All right, I was with you until you said George of the Jungle. So.
You didn't like George of the Jungle?
George of the Jungle.
But wasn't he in Dudley Do Right as well?
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
and
and that was
Dudley
sucked.
Do Right was good. Fuck you. Dudley
There
Do
you
Right
go.
was good.
See, there you go. There's a dichotomy of whether or not you have taste in Brendan Fraser. This is a weird. Are you a Dudley Do Right Brendan Fraser, or are you a George of the Jungle?
I have to
Both of which
remember
are the
that
same
I
goofy
cannot
fucking
trust
animated.
Tier's taste in movies because I still
I'm blaming this loss
hold-
on you guys.
I still hold Vampire's Kiss against you, Tier.
You can keep
And
holding on me out.
therefore you are not trustable when it comes to movies.
And like, I'm, you know what? I've learned this. Everyone has their taste, and my tastes are refined, and I like Vampire's Kiss.
I would have liked it if you hadn't told me it was a vampire movie.
It is a vampire movie. I never said it was a fucking good vampire movie.
It's an insanity movie. It is not a vampire movie.
He believed he was a vampire.
Okay, it's a movie about a crazy dude who thought he was a vampire. It was not a movie about vampires. Thank you. If you're going to prepare me, if you're going to prepare me for
okay,
the movie,
all right.
prepare me for the
Angela,
movie.
I got one.
I'm watching a vampire movie, and it's not a damn vampire movie.
I got one for you. Is the first Die Hard movie a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Then Vampire's Kiss is a vampire movie.
No, it is not.
Him think he's a vampire is central to the plot of the movie, just like Christmas is central to the plot of Die Hard.
No. Those are 2 different things that you just said there.
No, the movie can't. The movie cannot exist.
Hold on.
Right.
Because him being a vampire, being central to the movie, would make it a vampire movie. Him thinking he's a vampire does not make it a vampire movie. Just like if there was a movie about someone thinking it was Christmas when it wasn't,
would not have made it a Christmas movie.
If they think it's Christmas, then it's a Christmas movie.
Well, not
But
even
it
that,
was
but like
Christmas. That
the
is
Christmas
why-
was just like a
Hold on.
point
No.
of being. Like
No.
that was the
could
reason
not
they were
have
there.
happened.
It could have been a
Yes.
party for New Year's. It could have been a party
No.
for
No.
anniversary. They were
No.
having a celebration, and
No.
the company got taken over.
no, because then
They
you
were
wouldn't have
having a
had,
Christmas party.
I
You
have a
don't do
machine
shit
gun.
like that at your office for New Year's because there is like New
And
Year's is a
also-
different situation.
You wouldn't
Do
have the
not.
line.
No,
ho,
not
ho, ho.
again.
You wouldn't have
they
the
could be
line,
s-
ho, 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 I have a machine gun. You wouldn't have the Christmas tape, which was crucial for the end scene.
Yo, you could have worked anything into that. Those
Those lines.
No.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
would not
you could
have
have definitely
happened.
had. You could have had it as a Halloween party, and
That's
you
how
could
you're
yeah.
trying to
Not-
say that you could have had it be the same movie without anyone comparing him to Roy Rogers.
It would not have happened if it were not.
that actually would have made more sense because you could have had him dressed up as a cowboy.
Yeah.
No.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It would not have happened if it were not Christmas.
It would happen. Like,
I'm not saying. I'm
No,
not saying
because
that.
he wouldn't
I'm
have
not saying.
gone to
Hold
be
on.
with his
I'm not.
wife
I'm not
and kid
saying
if it
that. I'm
weren't
not saying.
Christmas.
I'm not saying that it's not, oh man, it didn't work because it was. I'm saying, look, you could have swapped it out with anything and worked it. You really could have.
It really would not.
It
You
would have. You could.
It wouldn't. I would be
It would
sitting
have.
there going, "Why the hell is he even there?"
The most
Because he got invited by his wife.
No,
Yeah,
no,
you got
the
invited
most
to a
that-
party.
the
What?
most that I would agree to is that you could have a similar movie, but it would not be.
Thank
The
you,
same movie that we
Assassin
know.
of the Gray. It is.
I'm not
a
knocking that as a Christmas movie, but Christmas in that movie is superfluous. It could have been any other reason why they're there. They could, like you said, it could have been them celebrating a new contract that now will make them more money. You don't need a reason to have an office party.
He would not have come for that.
And hold on.
Based on the person that he was in that movie, he would not have come for that.
And well, no, yeah, because he's wants to be. It was a recently divorced thing, but hold on. Even outside of that, okay, because I think the reason the staunch ground stands is it's a Christmas movie. I'm not saying it's not a Christmas movie. Obviously, it is. The way the film that we have it now as it is, yeah, it's a Christmas movie.
Agreed.
It takes place during the Christmas time. However, you can't not say that you could not take that same situation and just replace it with a different holiday or a celebration and have the same results, and then it's not a Christmas movie. I'm not
What
saying
I'm
it's
saying
not a
is
Christmas movie. I'm saying the movie in itself that's how good it is though. That's
You
the
could-
reason what we're saying is
The
like
movie.
Early
No,
Sounds
that
Like,
is
I
what
have
we're
to say,
saying.
Christmas
You
doesn't need
are in. Here,
the incite.
give me a
The
minute.
inciting.
here, give me a minute. Adam, you're having a completely different argument that isn't related to this. Tier gave me a movie. He talked up for months about how
I
excited
didn't talk
he
up
was.
for months.
For months. When we
okay, hold on.
when
I
we
was
turned around-
just
hush,
responding to what Assassin
just one
said.
second. Let me. Yeah. Okay. Just let me. 4 months since we started doing the Nicolas Cage thing. I can't wait till we get to Vampire's Kiss. It's my favorite vampire movie ever. It is this great vampire movie. It is such a good vampire movie. And then it wasn't a vampire movie. It was a movie about a crazy dude who thought he was a vampire. And that is why I am upset about that movie.
Which, like I said, that is the fact that the movie took place at Christmas and that Christmas played a central role
Thank you, Rotten.
in the story means
All right.
that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. If it
So-
was just someone thinking that it
The-
was Christmas without it being Christmas, that would
The inciting
not meet the
incident.
same criteria.
The inciting incident is the Christmas party, right? You can change that to anything. It could be an office party to celebrate a major contract. They were a international company.
And
Hold on, I'll let you speak. Can I finish?
Go ahead. Finish your
It
thought.
was an international company. She could have invited him there to talk about their relationship. That's him getting there is the whole crux of the movie. If he's not there, the movie can't happen. But the reason why he comes there can totally be different because all it needs is her to invite him there. Christmas is more a superfluous element. It does not need to be in the movie for the movie to occur. It could be any party. Hell, it doesn't even have to be an office party. She could have invited him there to talk and like, hey, I'll have a long weekend coming up. Babe, can you meet me here? We can go out. We can talk. Just meet me at my job here and we can try to work shit out.
Tier is sudden death. Die Hard.
No, okay.
Is
Hold on.
Sudden
No.
death. Die Hard.
Hold on. I wanna stack on top of what Tier said because what he said was true. And I would add to that is Die Hard is an action movie. It's about John McClane trying to get from point A to B, i.e., getting to the people who are robbing a company of their money using the means of the party. And he's going, I don't want to say undercover, but Metal Gear Solid type stuff, going about doing his thing. None of that has anything to do with ho ho ho, it's Christmas time. Like, that's just the decoration of it.
That's just the backdrop.
Die Hard, yeah. And so that's honestly, like, that's what we're saying is you could change that outside. We're not saying that we're not saying it's not a Christmas movie.
Which
Obviously,
is why
it is a
I'm
Christmas
asking:
movie.
is Sudden Death Die Hard?
I've never seen Sudden Death.
What is Sudden Death?
Sudden Death is a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie that is effectively Die Hard during the Stanley Cup.
Oh shit! I don't know. Fuck it. I have to watch the movie.
The answer is
I haven't seen the
no.
movie.
It is a Die Hard-esque movie. It is not Die Hard. And that's the distinction that I'm making. There's Die Hard-esque movie. So yes, if you had changed the situation, you would end up with a movie similar to Die Hard. It would not be Die Hard.
But
if you added in a character named John McClane, if you added in a character named John McClane, so that he just pops up randomly in that movie, it becomes a Die Hard movie.
Hold on. No, are you watching this movie? Are you?
I've never seen this movie
on Christmas, right next to Frosty the Snowman,
Yes,
and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and you're
I
watching
do
it
a
and saying,
double
"Oh,
feature
this is a
every
Christmas
year.
movie. Get out of here!"
I do a double feature every year of Die Hard and Mixed Nuts.
And I do the same with Gremlins.
Yes, and Gremlins is a Christmas movie.
But Christmas is a superfluous element. It doesn't have to be Christmas.
Exactly.
He would not have gotten Gizmo if it was not Christmas.
It could have been any other. Like, I don't need a reason to give a person a gift. That's a superfluous element.
The entire point is he was looking for the perfect Christmas gift for his son.
The perfect birthday gift.
Or just a gift in general.
The mitzvah.
No.
Again, the inciting incident is him getting Gizmo. The origin of why he gets Gizmo could be superfluous. It could be a Christmas gift. It could be a birthday gift. It could be you passed a test that I didn't think you would pass. Here's this little toy I found you.
No, it had to be a Christmas.
No, it didn't.
Hold on. Why did it have to be a Christmas?
Pete dressed up as a Christmas tree.
Yes. Why did it have to be Christmas? Why did it have to be a Christmas gift? Explain why it had to be a Christmas gift.
Wait, hold on. I have a question for you, Tier. Are you legitimately arguing that as long as the character names are the same, and as long as there's similar enough events, that it's the same movie? So,
Thunderball.
If you had
Thunderball.
Old claymation Santa Claus movies.
Thunderball. Is Thunderball the same? Thunderball.
I'm asking you, is if you had the old Santa claymations, and instead of it being Santa, the one with the cold miser and heat miser, instead of
I'm
that,
Mr. Cold Miser.
Yeah, if instead of it being Santa Claus showing up, it was the Easter Bunny.
Again, all it had to be is a holiday. It just had to be a holiday. Like, have you ever seen?
So then, no movie is essentially Christmas.
All right, Thunderball.
Hold on, Ghostbusters 2. Is that a Christmas movie or a Thanksgiving movie? Because it takes place during
New Year's movie.
Well, there you get. It has nothing to do with New Year. Well, actually, it kind of does.
Well,
that's only because they need to sing to break through the ooze.
Well, that's not even that. It doesn't even have to be. Again, if there are other holidays that bring people together, like it could have been the 4th of July.
Here, you have just argued there's no such thing as a Christmas movie.
I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing that this if Christmas is not a central theme, if it's not like it must Christmas Story. Christmas Story must happen at Christmas. The whole point of him being jaded, is the fact that he wants this BB gun and he doesn't get it. He wants it for Christmas.
No,
that's the whole point of that movie.
It doesn't have to be.
You'll put your eye out, kid.
He could be jaded about birthdays because he's wanted things for his birthday and he's never received them. And now he wants this BB gun.
Is Bad Santa a Christmas movie? Because the central thing, it had to go around Christmas.
The character wasn't a mole Santa; he was a mole Easter bunny.
So it'd be it'd be Bad Bunny.
Yep.
So it's an Easter movie.
It's an Easter movie.
No, it's just bad.
It's a movie that takes place during Easter.
Yes, and that's what we're saying.
No,
Die Hard is a movie that takes place during Christmas. And if you want to watch it and you want to include it in your Christmas movie,
what I'm saying, Adam, is that by that extension, there is no such thing as a Christmas movie.
No, yeah, there is. That's
Santa Claus. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, there are Christmas movies out there.
Nope, because
according to what Tier said.
Screw
it doesn't matter because everything.
It's a Wonderful Life
at a different time.
It's a wonderful. Yeah.
It has to be Christmas. It has to be
Christmas because it can be New Year's.
What's the one with Ebenezer Scrooge?
A sign that it is a perfect opportunity to become a new person for New Year's rather than wishing that you
Christmas
didn't exist.
Yeah, Christmas Carol had to happen on Christmas.
Christmas Carol can also happen at New Year's. It's a New Year.
Side.
No, it doesn't. It has that because the whole point of that movie is to teach him the meaning of giving.
Yep.
Yes, which
and
it takes place still teach him the meaning of giving during New Year's because.
Wait a minute. Okay, what particular holiday is emblematic of giving someone something? Christmas. It has to happen at Christmas. He's not Jewish.
Well, it could have been Hanukkah. He could have been Jewish.
Easter. The Easter.
You don't really give gifts on Christmas. You don't really give gifts on Easter.
Hold on. Are we really arguing?
All kinds of cool stuff on
Are we really gonna start pulling in like what ifs? Like, okay, Christmas Carol, but what if it wasn't Christmas?
But that's what I'm saying is that the argument that has been presented that it could be moved to any other holiday.
Christmas is the central point
of any other movie.
It being Christmas is central to the plot. The movie cannot. It's not central to the plot of Die Hard.
No.
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
exactly.
No,
it's not.
It is not central to the plot of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
No, the central plot of Die Hard is trying to stop the guy from fucking entering the bank. The guy's trying to rob the fucking place, and the ex cop is trying to stop him. That's the whole point of the movie, not Christmas. No,
he chose Christmas because he knew that was when the building would be vulnerable.
No,
he could have chose any office part. Again, this is a big office, and them having parties is something they would pretty much do.
It's a Japanese owned company. They could have had a Japanese holiday going on. Would it be a Japanese
Christmas
holiday?
is huge in Japan.
If you're
no,
yeah, exactly. That's exactly why.
I get what you're saying.
They should have had KFC buckets.
That would be if it was Thanksgiving.
Look,
no, that's Christmas as well. It's a.
That's true. They do anything where we would have turkey here. They do.
Yeah, in Japan for Christmas they will have KFC feasts.
I'm just saying.
So I'm surprised.
All right, I got one for you. I can't believe. To bring up something great. Halloween. Could Halloween happen anytime on any other holiday? Could the movie happen? So you're telling me that him going around in that mask could happen on any other holiday, where it wouldn't be weird to see a guy walking around with a mask?
That is probably the only one where it would have to be that day.
So if that's the case, if Halloween, because Halloween is central to the plot of that movie, it has to be that in order for the movie to occur. That means Christmas Carol must be that. It must be that.
Do it on Guy Fawkes Day if you were in England.
They're not British.
Hey,
That's
what
why I
if
said
what
if
if
you were
what if
in
there's
England.
a leprechaun running around in fall time around Thanksgiving time?
Yeah, you would be weirded out, like that would stand out like a sore thumb. But if it was insane,
You could have a leprechaun during Halloween, and that's perfectly fine.
Again,
Well, no,
it had
costume.
it has.
You could also have a leprechaun on
I'm
St.
sorry,
Patty's Day.
Mike.
You can also have someone that looks like a leprechaun on Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Fat Tuesday. All of a sudden, there's fucking leprechaun
exactly.
dude.
You could
And clearly that leprechaun run around Fat Tuesday. But my point
I'm sorry. My anger at being misled about a vampire movie that wasn't a vampire movie.
All I'm saying
I still need to
led
see this
to the
vampire
destruction of minions at the zoo. I'm really sorry.
Fat Tuesday, Tier, you can do something that looks like a leprechaun on Fat Tuesday. What are the two main colors of Fat Tuesday? Of Mardi Gras?
purple and green.
Purple and yellow.
Fuck you.
But my point is, hold on.
I'm having a different argument with Adam. I'm allowed to do that.
I'm just saying. My point being that the element of Christmas is central to It's a Wonderful Life, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It is central to Christmas Carol. Those holidays have to be Christmas because
you can change those holidays very.
You cannot change those holidays.
A Wonderful Life could very easily be New Year's.
It can't be New Year's.
Yes, it
Rudolph
can.
did do New Year's.
You could you could write a story that is similar to It's a Wonderful Life, based on what it is
That has
currently.
all the same story beats. That is, yes, that was what I was.
Okay, then all right. So hold on, everybody, hold on, real quick. I just got one element. When she hears a bell ring, and Andrew gets his wings. Now, how can that play out on New Year's Day? Like, what bells are ringing on New Year's?
Fireworks.
When fireworks happen and Andrew gets their wings. Okay, perfect.
People use all kinds of noisemakers on New Year's.
On Christmas. You just said that. On Christmas.
On New
okay.
Year's.
On New Year's.
On New Year's.
People
use all kinds of noisemakers.
Let's be real too. I mean, this is old
Ring in
timey,
the new year.
shit. They could be like every
Motherfucker,
time you light a
ring.
candle on a tree, an angel gets its wing and
Ring in the new year, Tier. Ring in the new year. What do you think they ring
Lord
in?
Jesus Christ.
No, it's
In fact, I actually used to ring the church bell.
So you were Quasimodo?
Yes.
Again, all I'm saying, I'm just saying that Die Hard does not. All we need is to get fuck. We could even eliminate the wife element, and the movie won't happen because he has no reason to be there. She needs to be there. Like
I didn't say that she didn't have to be there.
If you can erase.
If you want to argue,
hold on.
You can actually have the movie without the wife, and you could have the source material for it without the wife and without Christmas. It is a very different movie. It's actually a book currently, and that book is really fucking dark.
Well, okay, hold on.
The book that it was based on, actually, because his wife was already dead, and he was there to visit his daughter who worked for the company.
No,
and then he tortures a female terrorist.
Okay.
So again,
stop. When you start bringing in, let's bring in the book. All right, yeah, Jurassic Park, and then Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and what next? We're gonna start bringing in the book where it was based off of, and it's like, okay, no. What I want to know is, fuck.
Okay.
You want to know fuck?
You made me forget what I was gonna. Damn it.
Do you want to know the origin of fuck? Do you want to know how to fuck, or do you want to know who's fucking?
No,
Oh, how dare you! How dare you, Rodney?
Oh,
Don't you ever talk about swapping a race, a character's
no,
race.
Okay, so Die Hard 1. Okay, it's the Christmas debacle,
Die Hard
right?
1 and 2.
No, this is wintertime. I
Die
don't think
Hard 2 is good. Die Hard 2 is also Christmas.
was he traveling during Christmas? I
Yeah.
just remember he was just at an airport.
He was traveling
Yeah, it was
for Christmas.
literally like a year later.
Okay.
Die Hard 3 is the first non-Christmas Die Hard.
So the fourth one, I can't remember the name of it. Live or Let Die.
Live hard, live free or die hard.
Yeah. Is that a 4th of July movie?
Did that take place at the 4th of July?
I believe so.
Did it take place because of the 4th of July?
No, it took place because some guy hacked the system and wanted to do a fire sale.
Did he do it because it was the 4th of July?
No, he did it on the 4th of July because it was
No, see, there's a difference.
no, no,
Because
no, it's no
there
difference. It's the same thing. He's
No,
doing it because
it
it's an
isn't
opportunity.
the same.
And he did
The
do it
reason
because
that there
it was
was
the
an
four-
opportunity.
No,
was
it
because
is
was
a 4th of
Christmas.
July movie. He did do it because it was the 4th of July, because he wanted
Okay.
to fuck over America during its day of celebration.
That's
Yes,
what I asked. If it's what happened because it was the 4th of July,
It was
then
an
yes, it's a 4th
opportunity.
of July movie.
It is a 4th of July movie. No, it was explicitly he wanted to bring the United States to its knees on the 4th of July.
but it's not a 4th of July movie.
That
that
Yes,
is a
it
4th
is.
of
Be like,
July movie.
the-
If it
I'm gonna
happened
watch it right
because-
after the Patriot.
If it happened because of... Well, I'm not going to watch it right
I mean,
after
you
the Patriot
could.
either because
No,
it's
but it's
not
not
something
like-
I would.
it's
I'm gonna watch the Postman.
Yeah, I'm
It's not
I'm
like
thinking about
Die
some
Hard.
patriotic movie, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, Die Hard. The day, it's. I'm not gonna
But
lie, it's not
You do
a
get
bad
the
movie to
Christmas
put in there.
feels
Hold on.
from the
Again, just like
original
just
Die
like
Hard.
Die Hard, just like the first Die Hard. It's
It
not
is-
like I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch just Christmas movies and all this shit. It's like, yeah, I'll pop on Gremlins and Die Hard because it takes place in those times.
No,
But
Alright,
I'm
I
not gonna
got-
sit there and be like, is it a Christmas movie? Yeah.
I
It-
make
This
sure
is
to
a 4th of
watch-
July movie, and it is supposed to be a 4th of July movie because, like I said, the entire reason for it occurring on the 4th is that the terrorist wants to bring the U.S. to its knees on its day of celebration. Its name itself is a reference to early American fuck yeah mentality. The live
All right,
free
I got a question.
hard. That's fuck yeah. That is
Okay, really quick,
Hmm.
just to defend myself on this one. I don't watch Die Hard, whatever number that is, at the 4th of July because it was not a good 4th of July movie.
I don't know. It ends with
Is Home Alone a Christmas
liked
movie?
Die Hard, and I liked Die Hard 2, and they were both Christmas. Well, Die Hard 2 was not as much of a Christmas movie. Die Hard was definitely a Christmas movie.
I
Is
would
Home
argue
Alone-
that Live Free or Die Hard is a pretty good 4th of July movie because it ends the way that every 4th of July movie should.
With
4th
something
of
blowing up?
July, we blow up the sky. They blew up a Harrier in flight.
It is Home Alone
Yes,
the
Home
first two.
Alone- What?
It's the first two Home Alones, Christmas movies.
Yes.
Yes, they are Christmas movies. Are they good Christmas movies? No, they are the only Christmas movies I really, really, really detest. Actually.
So by
But
that same
they
token,
are
Andrew,
Christmas.
can I finish my point? I just wanted to say, by that token, if they aren't good Christmas movies, then Vampire's Kiss isn't a good vampire movie, but it's still a vampire movie.
No,
No,
because there were no vampires in Vampire's Kiss.
Again, if someone thought it was Christmas, but it wasn't, the movie isn't. Like, if you had a movie that was about everyone pulling a prank on one guy, they know that he never knows what fucking day of the week it is, let alone what month or what date. So they decide, hey, we could actually fuck with him and make him think that tomorrow's Christmas. And the movie is about how everyone's pranking this guy, and the guy legitimately thinks it's Christmas.
So the central
That
element in
wouldn't
the movie.
be a Christmas movie.
Hold on. The central element in the movie is them pranking him to believe it's Christmas. So I'm assuming there are going to be Christmas decorations up, and there's going to be, there's going to be So essentially,
But it's
Christmas
not a
is
Christmas movie.
But it is a Christmas movie. Christmas
No, it
is a
isn't.
central theme in the movie. Them fucking with
No.
him.
It has the trappings of a Christmas movie without being a Christmas movie.
And that is the difference between Vampire's Kiss and Die Hard.
It is a vampire. It was a terrible vampire movie. You can say that, but it is a vampire movie. If Home Alone is a Christmas movie, it is the same thing. If Die Hard is a Christmas movie, then it's the fucking same thing. It is a shitty. It is a shitty vampire movie. I will accept that. But you can't say it's not a vampire movie because it is.
There were no vampires in it.
Him believing he was a vampire was the thing, and there was a vampire in it. It was the one in his head.
What?
Remember the woman he kept seeing?
Who wasn't a vampire?
She wasn't real either.
There were no vampires in that movie. There was a hallucination and a guy who was crazy and thought he was a vampire. It was not a vampire movie.
Wait, he had a vampire on his hand?
What?
I don't know. What is it?
No,
Vampire
he had
Kiss?
a hallucination.
He was going mad and he thought he was a vampire. He was a man going crazy and he thought he was a vampire. Okay, is Joker a Batman movie?
No.
That lacks Batman.
It has all the trappings of a Batman movie.
It wasn't even a Joker movie.
It has all the trappings of a Joker movie. It has Gotham. It has Bruce Wayne. It has Alfred. It has his parents being killed. It has the Joker. It's a Joker movie.
It was a Gotham movie. You can say that it was a Joker movie. That works. It was not a Batman movie because it lacks Batman.
Was Gotham a Batman series? Because he was in there. Hell shit! It's wait a minute. I got one better. Is Smallville a Superman movie? Superman series.
Yes, it has.
Yes, because Superman is the star of.
Yeah, it has Clark Kent.
So it has all the trappings, but he never becomes Superman until the ass end of that shit, right? He never dons the iconic cape and tights until the very end. But
you're misunderstanding something.
Hold on,
my argument is that the trappings are superfluous. What matters is
so an element is superfluous. So the trappings are superfluous. How convenient is that?
No, it isn't convenient.
No, because we literally told you
with what I've been saying.
Oh.
We literally told you that if it was a movie with a bunch of Christmas decorations and
taking place not at Christmas.
Exactly, and it was not
Christmas.
Be a Christmas
that
movie. Is not a Christmas movie.
So he has all the trappings, all the elements.
What's the movie about Kevin James and fuck, why am I blanking on his name? Terrible movies. Except for all his really old ones was all his movies
Adam
are just Adam Sandler. The movie that was Adam Sandler and Kevin James faking a gay relationship.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
Yes. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry a gay movie?
Yeah.
No.
No, it's a movie about people pretending to be gay. It isn't a gay movie.
Dude, you kind of just proved our point.
No.
Yeah.
That is entirely
because no. If there's a movie that just so happens to have Christmas decorations in the background, that doesn't automatically make it a
Which
fucking
was
Christmas
never what I said.
That was not what we
made it.
said.
No, that's
The
what we
Christmas
were
movie.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying with
which
Die
is
Hard.
why I'm
Because
saying
Die
that
Hard
argument
was a
is wrong.
movie. No, that's what we were saying. Is Die Hard
No.
was a movie about a cop who gets snuck into a whole bunch.
And
I don't know about vibe hacking.
emphatically denied that accusation.
The movie could have taken place, like you just said, the movie could have taken place at any other holiday. Shit, it didn't even have to be a holiday. He just needed to be there. That's all he needed. He needed to be there.
Yeah, and with the gay thing, I mean, shit, it could be anything, any situation. Doesn't automatically make it a gay movie.
Again, my entire argument was Christmas was central to it. Not just, well, it was just happened to be at Christmas. No. You could make a movie that was very similar to Die Hard, but would not be the Die Hard as we know it at a different time.
Chill, this movie discussion, not the DNC. That's funny, Assassin.
So if you had it take place at New Year's, and you had the aspects of New Year's play the same role as you have the aspects at Christmas, it would be a New Year's movie. It wouldn't be a Christmas movie at that point. But you're talking about a different movie then.
All I'm saying, this is all I'm saying
This
about Die Hard.
notion that if you can have it set during a different holiday, and you just change everything that's coded Christmas into everything that's coded for a different holiday, then you've just removed what a holiday movie is, because you can make that argument for every other movie about any holiday.
No, Sanguine, my argument is this. The inciting incident is him getting there. It could have been all he needs to be there. Hell, the movie could have happened in New York. It didn't have to be the Nakatomi Tower. But the point of the movie is him going through and taking out the terrorists. If your argument
is you could have changed everything except
you could change a single detail.
The terrorists. No, if your argument is you could have changed everything except for him taking out the terrorists, and it would still be Die Hard. Fuck no, it wouldn't. It would be a movie that is entirely different because you've changed the setup.
You changed
the setup.
The setup is him getting to him going to see his wife and trying to rebuild their relationship. He was trying to see his wife and rebuild their relationship.
Why was he there?
He was trying to see his wife and rebuild his relationship.
No, because he stated that he had several opportunities to do so, but he took this one. Why did he take this one?
It could have been any reason. Like, again, the whole point of him
this one. You're arguing that you could have changed the aspects of the movie. Yes.
I'm not changing aspect. I'm changing a single detail. The single detail is the...
No, you aren't changing a single detail because you're changing why he was there. Because you have to rewrite that why he was there to be something other than he wanted to see his kids for Christmas and potentially see if he could get his wife back.
Hold on.
That was why he was there.
So you
couldn't
change that. You couldn't change that to he wanted to see his eldest child's birthday and then see the rest of the family.
It would have been a different movie.
Exactly.
It would have, for starters, it wouldn't have been
exactly.
No,
it would have been a different.
You know what would have changed? You know what would have changed? There would have been no Christmas themes. There would have been no ho 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 blah blah blah.
There would have been no
all of that
to be
stuff
in
could
the
have
building.
been altered.
There would have been no reason to be in the building.
No,
nobody has their kid's birthday party at their work.
Okay,
when you
I get it. You guys are unable to be able to.
God damn it, Sanguine, get rotten. I hate when you throw that shit in my face. Fucking hell, I hate that. A pre-established character's race is completely and utterly different from the setup of a movie. It's like taking Peter Parker and making him fucking Miles Morales. There's a huge world of difference. A huge world. Because that one change, that one tiny change has massive ripple effects. It really does. Because a change in a character's race also changes the races of characters around him. His parents, his grandparents, his bloodline changes completely.
And changing the motivation to be at the party.
The motivation, the party itself
Changes.
is superfluous. The
No,
party itself
because the
isn't.
party is the reason why he was there. Because he
No,
was there
he was
because
there
it was
to
Christmas.
try to get his wife back.
No, he was there to spend time with his kids and hopefully get his wife back. That is a different thing. And it was specifically to spend time with his kids for Christmas. He had stated that he had been invited other times. And you would change his motivation.
Okay, so there you go. You can change it to Hanukkah, and he'd be going there to fucking spend time at a different fucking time period. Like, again, you're
and that
working
changes the movie.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. You can't say that you can change the movie and not change the movie.
He's still gonna be climbing through fucking grates. He's still gonna be going around shooting people. He's still gonna be going around fucking walking on glass. He's still gonna fucking sit there saying yippee-ki-yay. Like, none of that's gonna change. None of that's gonna change. All that's gonna change is instead of a Christmas tree, it's gonna be a menorah. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
You're trying to claim.
You know what? I'm going to balance this conversation. I'm going to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And say we all got our opinions strongly on this matter, and it's not. We're just talking in circles.
Yep.
There are ways of changing things.
I love you,
that
Angela.
don't change the movie.
And I mean that.
There are ways of changing things that don't change a story. A good example of this is The Hitchhiker's Guide, which the entire point of The Hitchhiker's Guide is that the story changes in each iteration, but the story changes the order of things, but it keeps the motivations, the events the same. It's the order that changes. That's a way of changing a movie that doesn't change the story.
If you made Paul a girl and then would the movie be the same?
If you change the motivations, if you change the reason why characters are doing things, it changes the story.
I'm agree to disagree.
It's fine. He's dug in.
Me and Andrew got this very conflicting taste in things, and movies are one of them. Because remember we had the big argument about was it No Way Home?
Yeah, No Way Home. God, we're not gonna. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You want us to go off? Ask us about Spider-Man No Way Home. I love that
movie. Sorry. I'm bowing out that conversation. I don't want to have this fight no more. I'm good.
It's okay. We will stop. Sorry about that, Rotten.
Yeah. We're very passionate about movies, and we all have different tastes. Because again, same with things Dudley Do Right is a great movie.
I did not mean to break the. I did not mean to break the minions.
No, you didn't break anything.
I mean, we're all passionate people. I mean,
we routinely have heated arguments, and then it's, so want to get a beer?
Pretty much.
That's how it works.
I would love to get a beer.
I have decided to bow out this conversation, Assassin.
Oh, hey, speaking of beer, Sanguine, you know any good like apple beer, apple cider?
Oh, apple ciders? Yeah, there's a shit ton of apple ciders. Are you looking for a dry, a tart, or a sweet?
I don't know. Are you gonna bring any when we go hang out?
I could get ciders.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds tasty.
You're a cider drinker, Adam?
No, I'm not really a big. I usually stick to either tequila, whiskey, or rum.
He uses our annual get-togethers to try different alcohols.
Okay, yeah, so you're not a fan of. You're not a fan of beer.
No, I usually don't seek it out. No.
See, beer is there's really good beers, there's really shit beers. It takes time to learn which one's which.
Which ones are which? Yeah, I love my brewery. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I can get people that go, yeah, I don't really like most beers. Yeah, I don't really like most beers because most beers are kind of shit. But there's a lot of beers that are delicious.
I'm not a big fan of American lagers. They tend to taste the way the carpet smells after your dog pees.
Even with
Really?
those, there's good American lagers and there's bad American lagers. I will agree with you. The vast majority of American lagers absolute shit because they're just piss water. And that's one of the few beers that came out of St. James Gate, that's the Guinness distillery, that I can't stand is they did an American lager. And they successfully made a standard American lager. It was absolute piss.
Oh, wow. There is a company called Shipyard that makes the best beer I've ever had. It's a blueberry porter
Nice.
that is just amazing. And that was
Do you
when
like
I learned that not
raspberries?
all beers suck. I do. I love raspberries.
You should see if you can find Comez Raspberry Porter.
Comez. Is that Komez?
Yep.
I will look for it. Thank you.
Comez Raspberry Porter is delicious. It's a Baltic style porter with raspberries.
Wait a minute. Wait. I have to read this one. It's not Tier's fault he's wrong. He doesn't know how to use a computer or how to get to the DMV. So how you understand, Chris, is the reason behind Die Hard happening. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is this the new vote test?
It clearly is.
The new poll test?
It's Die Hard a Christmas movie. Nope. Oh, you can't vote.
Oh, wow.
Only test on the most important things. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And is it a Christmas movie or is it a movie that happens on Christmas?
All right. What if you've never seen Die
Because there
Hard?
are
How do you
movies
pass that
that
movie?
happen on Christmas.
Yeah.
What? Like I said,
I'm
Kiss
not
Kiss
having-
Bang Bang is a movie that takes place on Christmas.
I'm not gonna get in this. I don't want to have this fight no more.
Watch, you thinks that Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a uniquely Christmas movie.
What? Wait, does Tyr think that Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is a Christmas movie?
Oh, I said
I've never
he's
seen
going
Kiss
to
Kiss
have
Bang
the
Bang, so I don't know
exact
what that is.
opposite opinion. It's going to be a uniquely Christmas movie to him.
I've never seen that movie. I don't have any interest in seeing Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. What the hell is that? No. Let me look it up.
No.
What the hell is it?
That does make me think of one of the greatest Bugs Bunny inspired movies ever.
What?
Shoot 'em Up. Have you ever
Oh,
seen Shoot 'em Up?
The one with the milkmaid.
Oh, hold on. Is that the one? Wait.
Paul Giamatti is the villain.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, hold on. Yeah,
one-
no,
the
I was
one with the
thinking, I was
milkmaid.
thinking of Smoke. Wait, no, Smoking Aces is the one where there's like a bunch of mercenaries that go.
Yeah.
against-
There's two of them. It's either Smoking Aces or Slevin that you're thinking of.
Oh yeah, that. Oh shit, yeah, that one too. No, but Shoot 'em Up is the one where it's No, it's not the first person one.
No, that is Hardcore Henry.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Shoot 'em
right,
Up
yeah.
is Clive Owen, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
is a ridiculous gunman, but it's meant to be adult Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. Where
Yes.
Clive Owen's character is Bugs Bunny, and Paul Giamatti's character is Elmer Fudd.
He didn't come off as Elmer Fudd to me.
He was supposed to be the adult version, so they didn't play up the stupidity of Elmer Fudd. They instead went for Elmer Fudd is the seasoned hunter.
No. The reason why it doesn't come up to me as Elmer Fudd is because it's not him doing it himself. He sends a bunch of his henchmen, and Elmer Fudd really wasn't the henchman type.
Oh, but the time that he got the closest to actually getting Clive Owens were all him doing it himself.
Yeah, but my thing is, it's still him sending people to do his work for him. That isn't how Elmer worked. Hell, it's not even how Yosemite Sam worked. If they would have had the movie be more, it's him hunting Paul Giamatti by himself, hunting down Clive Owen, it would have been better. And you could have those moments where he gets close, he almost gets him, and then have like something classically Bugs Bunny, like he dresses up as a woman to slip past him.
You know, in fairness, I think the only times I can think of Looney Tune shorts that had kind of like a leader and some goons.
Oh yeah, good performances. Oh yeah, great performances.
Well, it was always like the comical, like the main leader and a couple of lackeys.
You think Snidely Whiplash-esque?
Yeah, with the Doberman boys or whatever their names were.
Yep, with Snidely Whiplash and his dog and
Muttley.
Yeah,
yep, Muttley.
But there's even like against Sylvester, where there would be a cat and then a bunch of little cats with him. Like there were always some parts of that. But I get what you're saying with because at the end, yeah, it was a Bugs Bunny shooting him with a revolver, and then Elmer Fudd comes back with a bigger one, and then they go back and forth with the cannons and all that. I remember that movie. Oh man.
Yeah, but
I gotta watch this
again. It should have been Paul Giamatti as the hunter hunting the Bugs Bunny with the baby, and it should have been him dressing. Have classic gags that they would use, but as adults instead of being played for laughs. Like him dressing up as a female to get past him.
Bro, Clive Owens cross-dressing to get past Paul Giamatti.
No. Yeah, Clive, yeah. Or have like he does the whole at first he doesn't know him, so he went that way. And he believes him because he doesn't know that's the guy he's hunting.
The only issue with that is the thing that made Paul Giamatti's character so damn scary and good in that movie was that he was smart.
Dude, did you see him in Amazing Spider-Man 2 as the Rhino?
Yep.
Oh, I loved him in John Adams.
He was fantastic in John Adams.
I love him at John. He was phenomenal at John Adams. He was phenomenal in like you a Stark Raven man. Where I am. Good day, sir.
Okay, you're going to judge me, but I actually really like Lady in the Water.
No, wait.
I'm judging you.
Wait.
It was fantastically terrible.
Yes, that's exactly it. It is an awesomely bad movie, and I loved it. I really dig awesomely bad movies, and
so you're allowed to dig an awesomely bad movie, but
I didn't tell you that it was a movie about vampires, and it's not.
It is literally it's a wank fest for M. Night Shyamalan.
What if they're water vampires?
Yeah, but if you say this movie is god awful in the most glorious M. Night fashion, you should watch it. You walk into it with a different sort of framework than if you're told something is about something that never appears in it.
Agree to disagree.
Also,
I wouldn't recommend it to everyone either. I would only recommend it to people that I thought would like that kind of movie.
Though,
fair enough.
Thinking of the glorious cheese of Shoot 'em Up also made me think of one of the best Nick Cage movies recently.
What?
Have you ever seen Wally's Wonderland?
Willy's Wonderland, and yes, it is. My headcanon is that it is Ghost Rider who refuses to use his powers because he's on fucking vacation. That is my headcanon.
That is a glorious movie. So,
It is.
did you say that you haven't, Abigail? All right. Angela?
What was that?
Did you say that you hadn't seen it, Angela?
Willy's Wonderland. Yeah, no, I haven't.
It was one of the first movies me and Rotten did together.
So, it is amazing. The premise is, have you ever seen Five Nights at Freddy's?
I did watch Five Nights at Freddy's because I couldn't watch Willy's Wonderland.
Okay, so you kind of know the premise of Five Nights at Freddy's. It's
Yes.
functionally that, only it's not using that IP.
Rather
than it being
Basically, I know the history behind it. They actually were supposed to get Five Nights at Freddy's, but they lost the rights to it.
Yeah, they waited too long to make the movie, and they lost the rights to it. But they still had the animatronics.
So it's kind of like that, but then rather than Nick Cage being a security guard having to deal with this shit, and it being a horror movie where he's hiding from it, he's tasked with cleaning up the old place. And he views every one of the animatronics as a nuisance.
Pretty much. And he kills all but 2 of them.
And then he kills one of those 2.
Well, technically, he runs him over. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Tinkerbell looking one gets exploded.
Yep.
But he kills all but 1.
But the best part is definitely his government mandated 15-minute breaks.
Yes. Wait a minute, I gotta admit, that is the longest 15-minute break ever.
Oh yeah, but they're glorious. It's just him dancing, pounding energy drinks, and playing pinball.
Yes, and then, but it gets better, Angela. It gets better. So it's all right. He's about to fight one of the animatronics, right? He squares up the fight, right? And he has the knife, and then you hear his alarm go off. He looks at his watch, and he goes to the girl that's beside him, hands her the knife, and walks off and takes the break. And she had to fucking fight this animatronic.
And then his break ends, and he comes back in. It is amazing.
Yup, he comes back and smashes it.
Because he does not give a fuck what they're doing during his 15-minute break. He will take his 15-minute break when it's time for him to take a 15-minute break.
Yes.
So there's 2 or 3 times where it's, this is going to be a big fight. They're squaring off. And then, he's going to pound some more Red Bulls and play pinball while dancing.
and
I'm not even mad. I love this.
Shit, it gets better. The ending battle with Willy is he tosses all of his remaining energy drinks into a pillowcase and wraps it up and uses it as a fucking flail and beats the fuck out of this weasel animatronic. It is ridiculous. And mind you, it ends with him he cleans up the entire place, and that includes the blood from the victims and the animatronics, and tosses that shit all in the trash.
Oh, that's the other thing. He makes sure that he's wearing the right uniform the entire time. If his uniform gets dirty or gets damaged, he swaps it.
Yes. He never gets injured either, and then, not once did he actually get injured.
He gets one cut on the abdomen.
But he walked that shit off. No, he tapes the wound up and he walks it off.
Yep.
And that's from the night, the one with the night.
Yeah, it's glorious. It's just the entire movie is absolute madness.
See,
and you're watching it going,
so
yeah.
cool.
It honestly, Andrew, I think that'll be one movie we will watch and we will agree on. That is
we watch a lot of movies we agree on. We just the ones we don't agree on, we really don't agree on.
Yeah, sure. But I think we would love that movie, honestly, and it is, and it gets better. Nicolas Cage does not say a word of dialogue the entire movie.
Yep,
He
it's
grunts.
all just grunts,
actually
facial
his idea.
expressions.
Yep. Again, and that's why I think it is, and that's why it's my headcanon that this is just him as Ghost Rider, but he refuses to use his power because he's on vacation.
No, fuck that. It is just an autobiography.
Of Nicolas Cage.
This is Nick Cage on one of his vacations. He just
It's-
heads off.
So it's like being John Malkovich. It's just Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
As Nicolas Cage.
just Nick Cage being Nick Cage. And if you watch it thinking that, it makes absolute sense.
No, I feel like my headcanon is just him as Ghost Rider, but he refuses to use his powers because he's on vacation. And then in the end, he takes the girl out of town. She's trying to leave. He gives her an energy drink, and she drinks it, and he drives off with her.
Is that your headcanon? Because if it was just Nick Cage, he would be far more powerful?
Yes.
Okay. I can accept that.
Do you think Nick Cage as Ghost Rider could sustain the bees?
No.
I think he could take. I think as Nick Cage as the Ghost Rider could take the beat. He's already on fire. He's been through the flames of hell. What more could the fucking fire do to him?
I mean, maybe that's the maybe that's his torture is he's engulfed in flaming bees.
You can go.
I'm going to argue something slightly different. I'm going to say that the only reason he didn't tank the bees was because when he's in a movie, he's always depowered.
Okay.
You know what? Let me add a +4 here. What if he swapped faces? With
Alright.
Volta.
Oh no.
Assassin
So
Gray
it
said,
was
"Why is
actually-
Ghost Rider vacationing work?" It's not. Hold on, wait a minute. Assassin Gray said, "Why is Ghost Rider vacationing working as a janitor?" Technically, he only worked as a janitor to pay off so he can get his car fixed.
Yep.
So it's not him working. It's him trying to just pay off. You know, hey, I gotta get my car fixed. I'll do this job. It's shit work. It's only for one night. I can do it.
Yeah, I stand by my... He gets depowered with every movie. During the movie. In between movies, he's at full power. This is Nick Cage just on his normal vacation.
The movie's a documentary.
Yeah, it's a true life story of Nick Cage.
Wait, is this before or after National Treasure?
I would say that it's probably in between 1 and 2.
Okay. All right.
Oh, so they're still weighing whether it was a National Treasure.
It was a good movie or it was a bad movie. Okay, it makes sense.
Hey, the first one was pretty good.
Yeah, first one was, don't get me wrong, I like the first one.
First one was good. Willie, if I'm actually ranking Willie's though, Willie's is one of my favorite movies that he's done.
Yeah.
Just because it is so fucking weird.
You
And that
really
makes it a
just
perfect
say if
Nick
you were
Cage
ranking
vehicle.
Willies.
But Nick Cage, just fuck yeah, in that movie. It's ridiculous. It is hilarious. I love that movie. It is the strangest shit.
Him and Drive Angry was pretty good.
Say again?
Him and Drive Angry.
Ah, yep.
I haven't seen
What?
that either.
It is a good movie despite Amber Turd being in it.
What's the one where he gets one of his nuts blown off?
What?
He gets one of his nuts blown off, he loses a hand, gets his hand replaced with a sword, and then
I don't
gets in a
think we've
sword fight
gotten
with...
that far yet.
Isn't that? I think that's not Mandy. I think that's Mandy.
Let me see if I can find it.
Cause that's the one based on Lovecraft. Cause I haven't seen that one. I think that's Mandy.
Because there's one movie, Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Okay.
That's the movie. So Prisoners of the Ghostland is a strange fucking movie where Nick Cage is framed for a crime that someone else committed. He was taking part in the crime, but he wasn't the one who actually caused everything to go tits up.
Mm-hmm.
And he was then convicted for that. He's arrested. Then he's sent to save a mayor's daughter. But it's this weird east-west thing where they're all dressed like cowboys, except for the samurais and ninjas.
That's
And
the
then
one
there's-
that Rotten said he was really eager for, and then he realized it wasn't actually a Western about zombies.
It is a strange one.
It really is.
And like I said, there's one point where one of his testicles explodes. Then he loses a hand. His hand gets replaced by a sword, and he uses that sword to duel a samurai. It's a strange movie.
Yes, I'm afraid to imagine. Let's put it that way.
I mean, yo, he
The
loses
best-
a testicle.
Yeah, the best Nick Cage movies are always the weirdest Nick Cage movies.
Yeah. No. Fuck no. Time to Kill is a weird Nick Cage movie, and I refuse to acknowledge its existence.
Not sure
Well,
if I've seen
Birdie was also a really freaking weird Nick Cage movie.
But that
it wasn't horrible.
It wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad. What's the word? It wasn't unwatchable. Time to Kill is fucking unwatchable.
So are you saying that the best Nick Cage movies are either the absolute weirdest or the most normal?
Absolute weirdest.
And it's just the in-between movies are the ones that are a bit dodgy?
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Because The Rock, really good movie. That I
Yes.
put on the normal range of Nick Cage movies.
Con Air's a pretty good movie.
I would put on the normal range of
Face Off is a good movie.
that one's kind of edging into that middle ground of weird.
All right, I'll
Whereas
say
Willie's is just someone, probably Nick Cage, took an ungodly amount of drugs and then forced all the writers to smoke his blood.
wait a minute, hold on. Now, when I say this,
That's a lot.
I want to preface this with, it is a weird fucking movie, but it's a good movie. I can only watch it once a year, and Angela knows what I'm talking about. You know exactly what movie I'm thinking about.
I probably do, but I can't.
8
there are a
millimeter.
couple. Oh,
It's
yeah,
a good
8
movie,
millimeter. Oh.
but I can't watch that but only once. Like,
Yeah, but that's not because it's weird. That's just a really rough freaking movie.
yeah, but it's still one of those. It's good. It's great. It's not on the normal range.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's great. It's just this side of wrong.
For what it's the subject matter is rough. It is rather rough to watch. The subject matter, but the acting in the movie itself, the acting.
Oh, it is very well acted. It is.
It's just the subject matter that's
It is
difficult
a
to watch.
phenomenal movie, but it's
So, when are we gonna watch Super Mario Brothers with John Leguizamo?
Now that
Never.
I was going to say, are you talking about the good one or the bad one?
I think they're all good, sir.
Never. I refuse to watch that movie.
Come on, it's a good movie.
It is a good movie. Well, no. I take it back. It's a good movie. It's a bad Mario movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If this was called like Fast Times in Dino City, it'd be a great movie. But they tried to shoehorn fucking Super Mario shit into it.
Or if they just called it Devolution.
Yeah. Have y'all ever seen? It was a movie called Monster Hunter, and if you took out the Monster Hunter elements from it, which is the game that I love, it would be a perfectly serviceable movie. But the moment you shoehorn in Monster Hunter elements to make this movie, it instantly failed. It can't. Huh?
Monster Hunter?
Yeah, it's a movie called Monster Hunter with Mila Djokovic. It's an isekai movie, which makes no fucking sense.
Mila
Because-
Jovovich.
Yes, I have a problem saying that name. But it's an isekai movie about Monster Hunter in their world, the Monster Hunter world. But Monster Hunter isn't an isekai. Everybody that's a hunter in that world lives in that world. The game, and then they're hunting a fucking Diablos. That is not a hunt that you could take on your beginning hunt. Like, if you're hunting Diablos, you are at least A rank. You know?
Yeah, honestly, I forgot that they made a fucking Monster Hunter movie. I'm gonna have to go watch that.
I refuse to watch it. I don't want it to ruin my enjoyment of Monster Hunter.
I'm gonna watch it this weekend. I'm gonna figure out a way to watch it. I wanna, honestly.
By the way, Adam,
Oh,
tonight's dinner, I was experimenting with making a chili recipe.
Ooh.
holy fuck!
Oh, good God.
It must have come out well.
Oh, it is fantastic.
Well, it took, I guess, this long because I asked at the start of the show, "Hey, I wonder what Sanguine is cooking up."
It has been cooking since before we started the stream. But, yeah, it is absolutely delicious. It's a chili. I decided to use stew meat since that's what I'm going to be using at the campsite. And I use pretty much just shit that I'd be able to use at the campsite. A deep pot. A control of temp. The only thing that I'm not able to do at the campsite that I'm going to be doing with this is rice, which I currently have on the steamer. But, or in the rice cooker, rather.
All right, so hold on. Was the idea of a chili type of challenge for you, sir?
I want to just... I haven't made much chili. I know I could make chili, and I know how to make chili. It's just,
dude,
I haven't
chili
made up my
and
own recipe.
on a fire stove, like,
Oh, that's going to be easy. I can do that, no problem. It was just making sure that I had a good grasp of what exactly I want the ingredients to be. Then this go around, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the other thing I wanted to check was making sure that it thickened nicely the way that I wanted to do it.
Ooh.
It almost sounds like we need to leave Sanguine alone with his chili for a little bit.
It's okay, Sanguine. We understand that you and your chili have a special relationship.
See, this is the thing. You haven't been here when I'm talking about food enough, Angela. I am known for making food somehow sound lascivious.
Yeah, that was exactly my point.
Yeah.
Assassin. Hold on. So it's still started out to hunting, essentially a god. I wouldn't want to see Mila Jovovich entering the Montana world with no prior knowledge, hunting down a fucking Cuttis. I wouldn't want to see her taking down a Jur Moran. I don't want to see her taking down, a great black... I wouldn't want to see her taking down the King of the Sky.
What if we were going for classic 80s fantasy movie where it's kid that actually knows the universe gets sucked into it?
Yeah.
Would you be more okay with it there?
Well,
Because they know the world, and it's more the fact that she didn't know the world that's a what the fuck?
It's more of the isekai factor for me. And then in the end of the movie, the monsters are isekai to our world. So you see a Diablos attacking a plane. It doesn't work like now. Diablos, a Rathalos, my bad. It was a Rathalos attacking a plane. The world itself isn't based on an isekai. Now, if it was a young hunter in that world doing these things, it would make more sense. I can see a young kid trying to take down the King of the Sky because the King of the Sky killed his father. You know? It does not work if this is, oh, here comes Mila Jovovich.
But like I said, what if it was the classic 80s fantasy movie? Where it's kid who loves the game is playing the game, and then something happens. Gets struck by lightning or some shit, and he wakes up in the game. He has all the knowledge of playing the game.
All right, sorry.
So he knows how the world works.
Also known as the Last Starfighter.
Yeah. The reason why I'm using this,
like I said,
the example, the King
80s.
of the assassin. The reason why I'm using the term the King of the Sky is because it is a specific monster who is, if monsters in the Monster Hunter world have nicknames, they're fucking powerful. Like if you have a nickname, and I'm not talking about like, oh, this is Rinky Dink. No, if you're the King of the Sky, the God of the Mountain, the Black Cat, you know, you are incredibly powerful. And that's what she was fighting. She was fighting someone with a nickname. You don't just fucking walk up and kill shit with nicknames in this world. There's a reason why they have these nicknames. Like, and I'm not talking, these are very specific monsters too. And it pissed me off that was the premise of the movie. Mm-hmm. And it was set in a fucking desert.
Like I said, if it was classic 80s action movie, so they at least knew the world, would that make it better?
It would, because again, it would be a kid learning the ropes of that world, even if he does know the story behind it, you know. And again, I would think he'd have enough wherewithal to go, oh, it's the Black Cat. I can't fuck with the Black Cat.
And
Sorry.
what would trying to be cool is having that type of setup. You have the kid being able to use game knowledge of, okay, I know this thing spawns in this location, so they're using that sort of knowledge, but then they're having to learn the actual physical elements of it, while they know all of the tactical elements of it.
Okay. Again, sorry, Gray. But again, that premise I like. You know, 80s, classic 80s, kids has enough knowledge. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do an isekai that way.
Yeah.
Not adult woman, don't know what she's doing, going against a god.
Yeah, you could be a kid, or at least, like I said, you have to have someone who has the knowledge. Because if you don't have the knowledge, then it's this makes it look like anyone could do this. No. Whereas, if you already have all the knowledge of the world, because you've delved into it, and you know that, like, oh, in order to get this, I need to do X, Y, Z, and then it's just you trying to figure out how to do that in-world, I would have an easier time understanding how someone like that very quickly rises to the point where they're able to challenge a massive threat versus someone who's having to learn the world and learn the skills of the world. That's where it starts to break me when it comes to those sorts of plots.
Yeah, and the Last Starfighter works because, again, all he was essentially doing was playing a video game.
I know that it was the Last Starfighter. That's why I said classic 80s fantasy or sci-fi.
I couldn't help but say it just because It's the
Yeah,
Last Starfighter. It's the
Yep.
reason that I actually kind of like Jaws the Revenge. It's a
Really?
terrible movie, but I
Oh, is
love
that the
that.
3D one?
I love no, that's
Oh.
that's Jaws 3D, which I also absolutely love, but that's because Lou Gossett Jr. is in it, and it has the best line
yeah, I get
ever
that.
in a
That's why
movie.
you said it.
Best
I'm just
line.
saying that this is like the second or third time that I saw someone or heard someone say, "That's the Last Starfighter." Yes, I know. That's what I was hearkening back to.
Best line in the movie. And remember, ladies, the shorts are short enough. If you show any cheek, you go right back to shoveling fries.
But yeah, there's ways of doing those movies right. There's ways of doing those movies wrong. It's just that every time they seem to not just choose a way that isn't optimal, they seemingly go for what is the least believable means of doing this, we're doing that.
It is some things that all right. I like isekais. I do. I like the concept of someone from our world going into another world. You know, whether it's the future, the past, you know, a complete other fantasy or a whole new sci-fi realm. That
They
makes
work
sense.
better as shows rather than movies
They do.
because you need to show the build up. And you
Yes, him
have to
learning the
have
world.
Yep, you have to have either someone who the classic 80s of they know the world but they don't know the skills, or you have to have someone who knows the skills but doesn't know the world. A good example
Like
of knows the skills but doesn't know the world, Farscape.
I got one better for you. Kid in King Arthur's Court.
Yep, that's another good one.
You
But
know, but
Farscape, I would say, is a little bit closer to knows the skills but doesn't know the world, because the kid in King Arthur's court, he knows ways of adapting the world to himself rather than knowing the skills. So it isn't that he's showing up and being an amazing knight. Sorry, I just had a chili seed
I
go
have to
down my
ask
throat.
really quick because I know that Tears an absolute weeb. Are we talking about weeb shit, or are we talking about Kid in King Arthur's Court that's actually
Yo!
based on
Not at
Connecticut
all.
Yankee in King Arthur's Court?
A kid in kindergarten. Hold on, I'm surprised you didn't even bring up like the rollerblades that he suddenly is able to. Oh shit! Wait, maybe I don't have the same.
Well,
King
the concept I'm referring to is weeb shit, but it translates to a lot of other mediums. It is essentially taking somebody from our world or another world and changing the world they live in. So
Yeah,
again,
it's changing someone's either
Yeah,
world,
thanks, Assassin of the
reality, or
Gray.
time.
You know what you're talking about. It's a
like
Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. It was
It-
written
you-
by Mark Twain.
you ever heard of Kate and Leopold?
Yes, I love that movie. It is
It is-
basically a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
The term that is most often used for that, because it's shorter, is isekai. Well, yes, you could say that every isekai is a Farscape or Connecticut Yankee or one of a handful of others. The term that's used for
Spirited Away.
Yep, the term that's used for a character waking up in another world or in another time
Okay.
currently is isekai. That's what that term means. So, even though Connecticut Yankee does exist prior to the term isekai, it is an isekai.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I kept hearing a Kid in King Arthur's Court, and I'm going, you mean that old movie that was based off of Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court? Or are you talking about
So,
an actual, like, manga, what you call it thing, or
And
Hell, there are
Rip
comics
Van
that have
Winkle,
isekai plots.
Rip Van Winkle would technically be a type of isekai, but it is a type of isekai that only moves forward in time.
Well,
Isekai can
technically,
be backwards, can be forwards, can be a different world. It's someone waking up in a world or time that they do not know and having to adapt to that world or time that they do not know. Which is
yeah.
why it works better as a show than as a movie. And it works best when you either have someone that knows the world due to it being a video game world that suddenly they're thrust into, or they have some degree of skill that they're able to apply directly to how that world works and how they can get about that world, which is why I
Right.
brought up Farscape. Because Farscape, the main character, Tom Crichton, sorry, John Crichton?
John Crichton.
Yeah, John Crichton is a military, or served in the military, was an astronaut, impressive as hell physically. So he pops up in this world and he's able to think tactically and he's able to kind of understand how shit works, but not entirely. So he still has to learn what
And
the fuck
they're
are
teachers.
you?
Yeah.
How does this work? But he's able to figure it out quick enough and he's able to respond physically to things, so it makes sense. Yes, isekai usually, but does not always involve dying in order to go to that other one.
Well, Assassin, the reason why it's not that we're denying the concept of kaiju or stories like that, or saying the modern vernacular is that isekai means the exact same thing and it's widely known. Just like kaiju is giant monster, and
It's
that's
almost like if Assassin had actually listened to what the fuck I said, he would have already heard me say, yes, these stories came about beforehand, but the term that became popular for these types of stories is isekai. So despite them being published before the term isekai was coined, they are now in the category of isekai.
shit. Technically, we got the concept of time traveler from fucking Orson G. Wells. Not Orson
Yeah.
G. Wells. The time machine. But there were already
Orson-
stories. Yeah, but there were already stories that predate with the same concept.
Yep. H.G. Wells, sorry, H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells, there it is.
Always confuse H.G. and Orson. But
Yes.
yeah,
Again, there are still stories that predate, because there are myths about humans being forwarded in time or forwarded back in time
Yep.
via the gods. It's a time travel story. It's still a time travel story.
yeah, and there's a lot of people that will refer to stories in Irish mythology as this is a Rip Van Winkle story. Even though Rip Van Winkle takes place much, much after the original Irish myth, and Rip Van Winkle is effectively a retelling of an Irish myth, where it was effectively the Fae in Tir na Nog. Time moves weirdly depending on where you are in the Fae. So sometimes time is faster, sometimes time is slower.
But the concept of time travel, like we have the concept of time travel in our vernacular because of that story. Like that's yes, there are stories that predate it. Like again, like he said, Rip Van Winkle. However, the concept came about because of that story. The name we use, time travel stories, encompasses Rip Van Winkle because it is a time travel story.
Yep.
Whether it's time machine or him taking a nap. You know,
Or
shit.
Cuchulainn wandering into Tir na Nog by accident. and
Yep.
Fucking one of the Fae.
Shit.
Oh,
Was it the dragon?
idea.
The dragon princess. It's a Japanese myth where the guy goes, he falls in love with like the dragon princess, and he goes to live under the sea. Technically, that's an isekai because it's not his world, and that predates the concept of isekai.
Yeah, it happens constantly that we will have a story come out, and then later on we'll have a phrase coined that we go, hey, shit, this story fits this phrase. And then we'll assign that story into that category.
Robotics. The concept of robotics. Technically, the Golem of Prague is a robot.
Yep. And we have a lot of stories.
The Colossus. The Colossus that fucking fought with Homer. Not Homer. Fuck. In Greek myth, you know what I'm talking about. Would be a yes, Jason. It would be a robot. I'm just saying it would be a robot though. It would be a primitive robot, but it's still the concept of a robot, an autonomous being that isn't alive. You know, made of stone or metal, a statue essentially. A robot.
Well, if it's made of
if you're talking
stone,
about the
it's a
golem, it's actually a Jewish myth.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying the Greek myth with the Colossus, and I'm using the Golem of Prague and the Golem concept.
The Golem of Prague is based off the Jewish myth of a protector.
But that's not what I'm
created.
But that's not what
stone.
that's not what I'm saying.
What he's saying is that it's a form of automaton. That automaton, rather than us using the phrase automaton constantly, we now more often will say that it's a sort of robot. It's a magical robot. Or
I'm going to call it a Gundam.
Well, technically a Gundam is a mech that has to be piloted.
A battle suit.
Yeah, but
it's piloted. If it's not piloted, then you wouldn't call it a Gundam, or at least you shouldn't. Because
if it has a pilot, it's a Gundam. If it,
well,
if
as long as it's not
robot.
cultural representation.
And there's a shit ton of things that had effectively robotic suits that people would pilot that we now call mechs, because mechs became the common term for a robotic suit that someone pilots. Even though those stories came out before mech was in common parlance. Same thing with isekai. Isekai is common parlance for a story of someone going to a world or time that they aren't familiar with.
Sanguine. Do you remember the name of the suit of armor that once you put it on, you couldn't take it off and it took control of your body? It's a Japanese
like nanobots or something like that?
No, it's...
like a cursed armor.
Yeah, a cursed armor would be technically a mech suit under the guidelines of what we just said. It is autonomous. It protects you, but you can't take it off. A mech suit.
I don't want that.
I'm just saying it's easier to use modern vernacular, isekai, kaiju, fucking time
You're
travel.
talking about the Amano Jaku, right?
There it is.
Yokai that's a suit of armor. And
Yes.
it takes you over and then rips you apart.
Yes. We have those concepts. These concepts predate robot, isekai, kaiju, time travel, time machine, or time travel. But we still call them by those names. It is a genre. It is what we call the genre. Like R&B technically predates the concept of R&B, but we call it R&B.
And no, Gundam doesn't get all the credit for robots. And no, Heinlein wasn't the one who came up with the idea of robots.
It was Asimov. Asimov came up with robot. He coined the phrase robotics.
Yeah.
It was him that coined the phrase, and it's him we have the concept of robotics.
And before that, the common way that you would refer to something like that is automaton or automata, which is the plural, automata.
Yes, I'm a weeb.
And those have been around for fucking centuries.
Kaiju have been around for centuries. We have myths about giant krakens attacking ships and shit. You know, Technically, Moby Dick would be a kraken, not kraken, a kaiju.
Well,
It would be.
did you see the whales attacking ships off of the northeast?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, the concept of kaiju is a giant monster that attacks or, does something. Moby Dick would, under those conditions, is a kaiju.
Yeah.
It is a
Godzilla's
giant
coming
whale.
up.
It is a whale too big for any other creature.
Isn't there a
And
whale?
it's unique.
attacking?
It's white. Can't remember.
And if you're talking about a piloted suit, then that still wouldn't be right, since the first one was it was the Steam Man.
Shit, yeah, Nessie's a
the
kaiju.
Prairies. Steam Man of the Prairies, Ellis. It was Ellis was the first one to write about a mech suit.
Yeah, Kefki says Loch Ness is a kaiju, and she would be a kaiju.
Yeah, Nessie would be a kaiju.
Technically, dinosaurs would be kaijus. Giant monsters.
That's pretty
Given the
much
size
what
of
it
it.
is, right?
Yeah, pretty much a giant creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, if a dinosaur were to pop up in modern time, yeah, we would refer to it as a kaiju.
Well, we
Though
kinda do.
there is the argument that most kaijus have some element of divine judgment about them, where it is a being that is meant to punish humanity for some form of hubris. And that comes from Godzilla is a warning and threat and punishment for nuclear power. A lot of the other Godzilla verse monsters also had their elements of punishment and hubris.
Biolantis was the dangers of pollution.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of this. Like, again, the concept we have for robots is from Asimov.
Yep. And like I said, the term that was more common prior to Asimov's popularization was automaton.
Oh, and he gave us the 3 laws of robotics.
Yep.
He gave us the 3 laws.
Hold on. He's not building an army somewhere, is he?
No. Asimov gave us the 3 laws, and it was robots can't harm a human. Robots cannot allow itself to be harmed, and robots through inaction can't allow a human to come to harm. And I think the third one goes if the second law violates the first law, then the second law is invalid.
And technically, if you want to argue that, or if you want to get in an argument over who first had space stations, it wasn't Heinlein either. It would be in The Prince of Space by Williamson.
I don't know who said it, but they're correct. Just one moment.
The Prince of
Assassin of the Grey, Czech playwright Karl Čapek invented the term robot, which is actually derived from the Czech word slave.
And if I remember correctly, it was Asimov that ended up coining the phrase robotics, or the term robotics.
I would, yes.
There you go.
But he's trying to have a dick measuring contest.
He
just to
is.
be a prick. And
Well,
he's
how
getting
far
more
east of
wrong than
Europe
he's getting
where
right.
you get?
I'm just saying that in this
boo,
particular case, he
Yeah.
was right.
And the one correction out of like 5 he's gotten correct.
Well, technically, Kefki, if you, as you are a giant ferret, so technically you would be a kaiju. You are a large. You are a. Normal ferrets are only so big, but she is a huge ferret, so she would be a ferret kaiju.
Yes, she's a kaiju, and Will is an eldritch horror.
Yes. No. The joke is that she's a giant feral ferret,
I know.
and she's only
And-
like 6 feet.
Technically, if I wanted to be really anal about it, Assassin, the first space station would be in the 1860s. There was a sci-fi story that kind of mentioned a space station, which I think it was Brick Moon or Stone Moon. It was some shit like that.
The Brick Moon.
That's it.
Is
Wow.
it still just chilling up there?
Published by Sir Isaac Newton, which includes description of Newton's cannonball, a hypothetical artificial object which is projected from a mountain as a thought experiment as to explain why natural satellites move as they do.
There's also a book by that name.
Yeah, wait a minute. The Brick Moon presented as a journal. It describes the construction and launch into orbit of a sphere 200 feet in diameter built by bricks. The device is intended as a navigational aid and is launched accidentally by the people aboard. They survived. So the story it also provides the first known fictional description of a space station. The author even surmised correctly that the idea need 4 satellites visible above the horizon for navigation as a form of modern as for modern GPS. So it also gives us GPS.
Yeah, and if you want me to really get bent, then I could also bring up, because thus far I've proven you wrong by 2 different authors that predate the one that you credited. I could also bring up that there's Oberth, which I can't remember what his was, and there was a Russian writer, I remember first name was Konstantin,
Hey, so
Who
I didn't
also
didn't walk
wrote-
a roast, did we?
who also wrote about satellite stations, effectively, or space stations. Those were in the very early 20th century. I think they were both like pre-2030. Or, sorry, 1930. Pre-1930.
I mean, there are a lot.
If you're going to try to correct us on things, be correct when you correct us. Especially if you're going to be a prick about it.
I'm just saying, there are a lot of concepts that predate stuff, but we give them modern names. Again, isekai, kaiju, time travel.
Yep.
A lot of stuff predates it, but modern vernacular. And what if in 100 years that the term isekai is no longer acceptable and it becomes wobbly blues?
Yep. We constantly change the terms for things.
Hey, that old story about that guy, Rip Van Winkle, is a wobbly blue. They called them isekai back then, but now they're wobbly blues.
Mm-hmm. We're constantly changing words for what sorts of stories things are, for what we call an object built in this or that. It's constantly evolving. The current term for them, some of them predate what we're referring to those things as. Some of them occurred before those things that we say are them. So it can go either way. It depends on what gets its way into common parlance.
The concept of folk music. Well, folk music kind of always been folk music, even when folk music wasn't folk music. It's always been folk music. That's probably ancient. That's probably one of the longest words we had. The oldest
Well,
words we
one
have.
of the oldest lines that would be or one of the things that I can think of that is ancient, not ancient, it's medieval, that connects to folk in that usage is Folkganger, which is the Hall of Freya.
Okay. I'm always learning something new when I'm with you, Sanguine.
Yeah, there's a lot of words that come into usage, and it's just whatever one becomes the most associated with it. It's kind of like how there's a bunch of people that looked at Avatar and they went, "Oh, this is Pocahontas." Well, no, it's Dances with Wolves, and either one could be correct. It depends on which one you're more familiar with.
Shit! I can the etymology
I
of the
was
word.
more Fern Gully girl myself, but
Fern Gully's another one that
Yo,
fits
Fern
there.
Gully is an awesome movie.
Nah, what I was about to say is, do you guys know what a naked name is?
oh, here we go again.
I'm just saying, I'm using it as the etymology of a word and how things change over time. A naked name, a NECA name, a nickname. It changes over time. It's the same concept. It is a personally used name that you only share with people close to you. You don't share your nick. It's not something you tell the world. Well, I guess it would be nowadays. But still, the concept is a naked name.
People are more
name.
likely to know that name than your real name.
Yep.
Well, this day and age. But back then, a naked name was a private used name. Some you use only among family and lovers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something
And
you was special.
now we also, so what we would view as a nickname would not be what was originally a nickname by that definition. And there's a bunch of things that weren't nicknames by that time's knowledge of the words that would be nicknames by the modern usage. Such as, there's a bunch of different societies that they viewed magic as relying upon true naming.
Mm-hmm.
And the cultures that had true naming magic traditions, they weren't really fond of giving their names.
You do not give your real name.
Yeah, so...
Oh, we're not fighting, Kefki. Just debating.
Yep. I'm just pointing out that if you want to give a correction, make sure your correction's right, and also don't be a prick about it. You can go, "Oh, I thought it was this," or, "Well, it was actually this," rather than trying to get into an argument of, "Well, this predates it." Yes, I already said that it predates it, that you aren't correcting something. And hello, Pat. I just scrolled back and saw that
Yo,
you
Pat.
chimed in. But yeah, if someone has already stated that, yes, this is something that predates this, but this term is still used because it's the one that hit common parlance, then going, "Yeah, but it predates that word." I just said that.
It is what it is.
Yep.
Shit. My eyes are seeing the glory of the coming of the Lord. It started as a camp. It's a hymn now, but it was a battle song.
We literally had the same exact conversation the other night.
We did.
Beat for beat.
We did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. I need to stop bringing up the same talking points. You use my use the same arguments.
The exact conversation. I'm dying here.
I'm sorry. It's
Fear just really loves that song and tries to find any reason to bring it up.
Yes, I love that song.
Well, no, I mean, it started with nickname, the origin of nickname, and then moved on to the Battle Hymn of the Republic.
I can't help it. It's a good song, but it's how things change over time, and those are easier to remember for me because I like those two concepts.
Yeah, Like I said,
Shit. A fag. What is a fag?
A
a
cigarette.
cigarette or a useless bundle of sticks.
There it is, and that's the origin of the word.
Yeah, it's same origin as a fasci.
Meaning change over time.
Yep. Which means that you could accurately describe fascist as a bunch
Fags.
of... Well, I can't quite get away with it. Well, I was going to use the other word that is...
Uh-huh.
Ah, yes.
The one that you can only use when you're referring to faggots and mash. Which are delicious, by the way. For those who don't know, they're little meatballs made of offal.
Oh.
Fried up and then served with mashed potatoes and gravy.
I'm like going, I know it's not bangers and mash.
Yep.
Which is something I'm more likely to actually eat.
I want to say it's kidney is the main meat in them. Let me double check. But yeah, it's a sort of meatball, or it can also be done as sausages. And yeah, they're offcuts and offal with normally a high percentage of kidney.
Oh.
But it can also be pig heart, liver, belly fat. But I just realized what time
I'm the most adventurous eater in my family. I'm not that adventurous, thanks.
Oh, they're delicious, but it was hilarious the first time that I heard about them and tried them. I was in a pub with my mum at the time, and it was the first time that either of us had heard about them. She read them on the menu, then looked at this poor fucking waiter who might have been like 15, if that, and with a straight face went, "Excuse me, can you tell me what a faggot is?" And I could see this young boy just strain not to laugh. The chef then came out and explained what a faggot was.
That's terrible. Terrible.
Oh yeah, if offal's prepared right, it is delicious. If it isn't, it is god-awful. But I just realized the time, and we've been going for about 3 hours.
Sorry again.
No problem at all. I have no issue with long streams. I tend to keep going until the conversation seems to reach a natural endpoint. Do you guys want to keep going, or shall we...
I got work in the AM.
Okay, so sounds like go around the horn for parting words, then.
Have a good night.
Do you want any additional parting words, or do you just want have a good night to be your parting
Have a good night is fine with me.
Copy that.
If you're passionate about Sanguine, devour him. Don't let him devour you.
That will be difficult, and I will win that particular race.
Adam?
Again.
Hold on a second.
I think he's
Adam?
asleep. I can hear him snoring.
Yeah, I think he zonked out. Adam, you still there? Okay,
Yeah, he's gone.
He's zonked.
Adam?
Nah, he's not gonna wake up.
Oh,
I can hear him snoring.
Yep,
Yeah,
he'll
no,
wake up in a few hours.
I could too. I feel bad.
So, for tonight's ending words, I'll leave off with the most important step the most important step of any man's life is always the next step. And with that, and with that, have a good night, all. The zoo is closed.
Good night.
Good night.
Night, all. Let me click this. It'll take a couple seconds.